In a world where space and time are intertwined, one man dared to challenge the status quo. His name? Dayton Miller. His weapon of choice? A flute. But not just any flute. This instrument held the power to unleash the ether, a pervasive medium once thought to fill the universe. Miller, a physicist by trade, a musician at heart, discovered a harmonic resonance within the ether. He found that his flute, when played with precision, could manipulate this elusive medium. His melodies, a symphony of science, had the potential to shift the very fabric of reality. However, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Einsteinian demons. These creatures thrived in the distortion of space.
All right, hello and welcome everyone to another community Twitter Space episode on Friday. We look forward to the return of Sacred and Proud for Flat Earth Fridays, but until then, holding down the fort is our boy Brian Sweet throughout the week, holding community Twitter Spaces. So if you need to join a space during the week or want to hear some Flat Earth conversation during the week, hit up my boy Brian on Twitter, follow him. And he is almost always live every day of the week. All right, we're going to join the Twitter space now, see what's up with the boys. We got some exciting new evidence to put forward for a Man of Stone as well, which we'll get to later in the night when he joins us.
Set for about a whole day. And I assume the set part was translation. But I tell you what, not looking forward to Isaiah 24, verse 18 through 20. Woo! That was some heavy stuff there. Let's look at Isaiah chapter 48. Where did you go? Chapter 48, 13.
All right, we'll give Brian a few here to...
My hand laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand spread out the heavens. When I call to them, they stand forth together. We did go over this one.
Yo.
What's up, Alan?
What's up, my man?
Just checking out some biblical stuff, man. How you doing?
Doing a little Bible study, I see. That's what's up. What are the scriptures telling us over here? Is it flat and stationary? Is the earth like a seal pressed under clay or whatever it was? Wax seal, something like that? Or is it or did he say, on the first day I compacted matter into a sphere and made it inherently attract other matter as a force? And hopefully Newton will come along and show a proportionality relationship and tell everyone that's how the sky moves. God bless, or whatever. Or me bless. Do you think he says me bless or God bless?
He just bats himself on the back.
he just self bats. That's what's up. Shout out to the big homie in the sky, dude.
Right on. Yeah, I think that could be the NIV version of Genesis.
It's the new one. That new drop, the revised version. Dude, I recently seen some Vedic cosmology pictures. You know how they're like they think that they're their cosmology was like a turtle with elephants holding up a flat disc, like for the world, you know.
Sure.
So like they have this new one now where the elephants are holding up a globe, dude. It's like, come on, boys, come on,
come on,
stick to the disc.
Alan, you would be very proud of our brothers, Sheepdog, Ken, Brian, and Conspiracy. They've done a fantastic job of having no nonsense, scripture by scripture. Listen to some of the recording. It's really, they've done a great job today. Kudos to them.
Nice. Excellent moderation from the boys. I love to hear that.
Hey, Alan, I was just curious. Were you reading out of the Dewey Rhymes Bible just then when you were quoting Genesis?
Yeah. Yep. My pocket. What Bible was it?
Dewey Rhymes. It's the Catholic Bible.
Oh yeah, it's my pocket Dewey Ryan's.
So how
That's
you?
the one that has the and on the eighth day God said, "Let all motion be relative."
Ah, dude, yeah, he was like, all
Something like
right.
that.
Yeah, dude, it was on the first day. God was like, all right, I need absolute space for a nice canvas. And on the last day, he was like, all right, no more absolute space. Everything's relative. Good luck.
Deal with this spinning based space time crap. I'm out.
That's hilarious, dude. So funny. And yeah, so you guys been going over the scriptures, dude. We've been going over some sky observations as of recently, and Stone just put forward an oldie but a newie. Like he's adding to an old measurement or an old claim. He's adding some measurement to it with some triangles, and we all know how the globe and triangles get together.
They love them.
Not so well.
So what have
Gabe loves the triangles.
I was listening to I forgot who the first guy was, but I seen him on MDD a lot. He's pretty myopic and he can't grasp any concepts. But that was rough yesterday in Clubhouse.
Oh, dude. So it may have
Was that Ozian?
It may have appeared
Sorry,
super
Alan.
rough. No, you're good. It wasn't Ozian. It was primarily it was primarily Ruhif for about 45 minutes to an hour or so, and then a guy named John. He has a PhD in physics or astronomy. I can't remember, but he took over for most of the conversation, and it may have appeared like really, pretty DS, but there was significant progress made, which I would love to recap with you.
Go ahead, man. You got anybody coming in here to defend that? Because I heard everybody they're freaking out because this guy did it at his house, and you guys were saying that doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got some supplemental images to show to kind of elucidate on our position, because it might sound a little confusing how it works, but we'll definitely break it down and walk people through it. But yeah, so
I want you to do one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you do this, I want you to address something specifically, because I made the same mistake. So it's not like, I'm not guilty myself. But there's a lot of people on both sides that seem to think that an actual theodolite is necessary in this experiment.
Ooh, great question. The theodolite is the mountain peak. You taking the timing is the same. It was like equivalent to using a theodolite in a way where you're measuring an angle, because the timing in which you no longer see the star corresponds to an actual angle. So that is the significance of the two. So you can kind of think of it in the sense of, instead of having a little tiny theodolite at your house that you're trying to measure the mountain with, you're actually extending your theodolite to become the mountain, essentially. So your theodolite goes from being a couple of inches or whatever, a couple of feet, to being 50.7 kilometers long.
Right. So in other words, it's not an actual theodolite. You're instead of crosshairs in that little theodolite that you stand and look in, the mountain is your crosshairs.
Yep.
Correct.
Yes. So check this out. During the day, when you're looking at that mountain peak and you have your crosshair set for 231, you're going to get different measurements throughout the day, right? They already measured it, or Mike already measured it during the day, and it's very close to what the globe predicts, like within an arc minute. And that's due to atmospheric effects. That's literally due to atmospheric compression, refraction, optical effects like that. That is what does that. And Taylor even found a paper talking about measurements of mountains in the day over 100 kilometers, I think it was, and how they fluctuate up to like 20 or 10 to 15 arc minutes. So it's like there's this optical variance that happens throughout the day that will give you the impression that globular predictions will be true. Because if you plant your flag in the claim first that, like, every time you look through a theodolite, it's because a globe. Then like every time you look through a theodolite, it's going to be a globe, right? So the difference here is when we're doing this at night and we have our crosshair aimed at 231, and that is where the mountain peak is. When that star gets occluded, you can like the only way that would geometrically work out, because the prediction doesn't come from your observer location to start with, it comes from the peak of the mountain. So that's the huge significant part of this. So when you're confirming it on the ground at that time, the literal angle has to be the same. So irrespective of refraction throughout the day to change the look, like how you're seeing that peak, that star would only be physically blocked at that time if that mountain was actually there at that angle, at that elevation angle.
Boom.
Yeah, it's lethal, dude.
That's why it's a flat Earth prediction. It's not a theodolite and accounting for refraction and taking Earth curvature into account. It's none of that. It's strictly a flat Earth plain trig prediction, right?
Yep. So what you'll do to like start the process, you pick a mountain peak, enter your lat long coordinates for that peak, you go to it, then you just like look off horizontally, and then when you zoom in on Stellarium, you can see like a little grid for degrees, 360 around you, and then degrees in elevation going vertical. So what you'll do is you'll just find the elevation angle that you want, and let's see, you find the elevation angle that you want, and then you just watch until a star intersects at the crosshair. That's at the exact elevation angle and direction you're going to be looking. And then you can go on the ground and confirm that. And if the angle matches to your distance, then that's only because it's a flat baseline. Is it because the globe would make two separate predictions for you being at the thing and then versus observing it at your house? The angles would never match up. The timing would have to be different because the mountain is physically lower in the horizon because it's tilted away from you. It's missing 222 meters, which comes out to be, I think it was about like 15 something arc seconds, I forget, something like that. But it's significant in such that the timing in which it would be blocked like a star would be different by about 15 seconds or more. So like actual seconds.
Well, I know I'd like to hear more about I think you were still there. Yeah, you were still there when what was his name? Jesse was giving his example of theodolites on two mountains at the same elevation, and they weren't getting zero, right?
Right. That is the exact purpose of using the celestial theodolite to determine if the curvature that you're seeing is due to some optical effect. Is it due to some mechanical error within the theodolite? Is it due to some scaling error with how you take the readings? What is the actual issue here? That's why when you do the math prediction for the angle for the angle which the star gets occluded, and you measure the timing, that's like how it eliminates all of that. You can get to the heart of the matter and be like, okay, this isn't a curveball effect. So when I look through this theodolite and I see something below the horizon line of it, it's not due to ball curve. We've just like, that's how you eliminate that. Because what he's doing, he's using the same instrument that's in question to make measurements to make his argument. And we're saying, well, it's an optical effect. So we're using the same instrument and measurement to make our argument. So we can't come to any conclusion if the thing in question is what we're using to make our argument. So that's why moving to the celestial theodolite overrides any argument of, well, when I look at it, at this and do this, reciprocal any reciprocal. No, doesn't matter, dog. We literally have the elevation angle that corresponds to a flat Earth elevation angle, and you could do it anywhere. And the crazy part is, like I said, you start with the mountain peak, bro. The Stellarium doesn't know where you're going to go observe it from. That is so significant. They can't do that. When they're like, where's your prediction? The flat Earth has no predictions. Predict that angle for me, bro, before knowing the observer location. let me see.
So I'm glad you misunderstood me, because that was a great explanation. but I was talking about when he told us, and I hope I got this right, the error, 4 parts per million. He says the equation is 4.494 times 10 to the negative 6 degrees per meter
Mile, I think it was.
per mile. I thought he was using meters, but it might be miles
It
then.
might, well, he might have said kilometer, to be honest with you. But anyway, continue.
Anyways, so he was saying that that error works out at 8 inches per mile squared. Because in Jesse's example, Jesse actually gave how much they were off, and he said, "Well, how far was that?" And
Oh,
he said
right.
7.2 miles, and he said, uh, "Kilometers?" And he said, "No, no, no, that's miles." And then he came back and he said, "Well, it's 11.6." And Dr. Mike said, "Oh, yeah. So times 11.6 times it, that gives you roughly, 8 inches per mile squared." That's where your 8 inches per mile squared is coming from.
Oh, dude, I'll have to go back and clip that. I know what you're talking about, but I missed that part of it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because he
So his
said it a
example
couple of
of
times.
so his example of his brother was like literally just the Adelaide scaling error. Hilarious.
And amazing how it comes out to 8 inches per mile squared.
Right.
That's what blew my mind.
Yo, I see Big Xavier up with your hand up, dude. What's up, Xavier? Hop in here, brother.
What up? What up? Yeah, I just wanted to highlight something that I noticed that's a reoccurring theme. I mean, you can only have the conversation so much before you negate the possibility that they're misunderstanding and that they're deliberately deflecting. One of the deflections I've noticed is that um, uh, one, to straw man to say that flat earthers don't believe in refraction. Nobody ever said that refraction doesn't exist. We're disputing how it's being applied. But the argument is to make it look like it's inconsistent. Oh, wait a minute. Do you agree with stellarium or not? Do you agree with the measurement at the house but not at the mountain peak without accounting for refraction? Can you highlight why that's a straw man and how it's not about the inconsistency of Solarium, but where Solarium
Yeah,
gets its data. But I'll let you
yeah,
finish.
yeah. No, that's dude. So that's the way. It's the only way that they can argue it by obfuscation, because the significance of the timing and the how a triangle works geometrically, which is why the conversation with John yesterday was so good, because he actually gave a proper steelman and significance of the argument later on when he was talking to another globe lad who asked about it, and he actually like spilled the beans, so to speak, and like so he's like actually the first glober to confirm like what we're asserting. So that's awesome. Shout out to John. But he thinks it just works out as a coincidence, and it's due to globularity and refraction on the back end, which is irrelevant to the argument. But it was so cool that he actually touched on the significance. So what you were saying about the predictions for the observer at that location away from the thing, that would make two different predictions if you start moving the observer, and it's in both models. If you change the position of the star is going to change. It's apparent relative to your location, so it's going to make different predictions. So when they try to move the observer, or when they say, well, you can't use you have to take it where the measurement was made, which is at Mike's house, which is true, but they're not considering our theodolite is 50.7 kilometers long. It's literally the distance from you to the object, because you're using the object as your crosshair. So ignoring that fact, they're able to kind of negate or make it, or like add obfuscation or add some doubt to it, because it doesn't seem legitimate, because it does give two different values. But the thing is that you wouldn't be able to see it occluded at that time that matches the time and angle at the peak of the star when you figured out where it was going to be in stellarium. So you have two reference points that you're using to complete your triangle, and they both correspond to the same angle at that specific time, which is a mutually exclusive prediction.
Yeah, I like how Heffron was like, "My house is not the is not what's including the
My
star."
house is not including it. Yeah, because just so Jesse was doing his analysis of Mike's Blodgett peak data, and he did the analysis from the house, and which made everything off by 33 arc minutes for everything, because it changed the it changed the timing in which it would have been included. So that's why this is why it's so cool, right? Because remember when I said Stellarium doesn't know where you're going to make the observation from. It only knows where you the first coordinate you entered, and the first coordinate that you entered to get the prediction that you're going to make is the mountain peak. So the fact that it lines up anywhere that you go and make your measurement based off of timing is the significant factor that they could never do. They can't do it.
That's awesome. So let me try and steel man this simply. Basically, we're saying that my distance from the mountain, or in this case, his distance from the mountain, is his adjacent line of the triangle. The height of the mountain is his opposite. And so on a flat Earth with a flat baseline, flat adjacent, that's his viewing angle. And it just so happens that that's when the star occludes, when it's at that particular angle, making it a straight line from him to the mountaintop to the star, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah. And you can even do the same kind of triangle relationship using the arc sign, which of the radius. So that will just give you like the missing amount that would be needed for the globe to complete their triangle. So we have like both timings, accounting for what the mountain would be if it was tilted away versus if it was actually at that elevation with respect to sea level. And guess what it turns out to be, lads and ladettes?
Actually at that elevation.
Yeah. Oh, while we're talking about this, let me put up a cool image in the jumbo for us that our boy Stephen B. and Glenn Conrad made for us for the celestial theodolite. Look, some concept art for us. Yo, Xavier, I see you put up the one, but check this new one out, dog. We got a sick one.
Did any of you guys tag Taylor?
She should be here. Be coming in. Yeah. I didn't even download it. I'm the problem. Right,
So while he's doing that, the reason I like this argument because it incorporates their rebuttal right away. We have a lot of measurements that have trigonometric functions that account for a flat baseline, but this takes into account the global Earth data that Stellarium gets, and it says, okay, if that's where it is without refraction, and that matches a flat baseline, and that angle goes all the way down to his house, okay, that's very interesting. And like Alan said earlier, they just have to wave it off as a coincidence, and that's a pretty significant coincidence.
Yes, sir. I just put up the new jumbo drop, lads. So here we have the corresponding angles for all the Pike Peak stuff. And then, so what we're talking about here is when you go into Stellarium, you start with the peak there. That's going to give you your angle to the star with refraction off. You turn refraction off in Stellarium. And then that will give you the flat Earth elevation angle prediction, which comes out to be 231. So if you were on that mountain peak with a theodolite and you had it 2 degrees and 31 arc minutes off of perfectly level above the horizon, you would have that star in your crosshair. So when you go to Mike's house,
and this was Rohan's defense on this, but I'm getting the 214 whatever. Therefore, it's a globe.
Yeah, well, that's super unfortunate for them because that's not even they're going to need a corresponding timing for 214. So we have our prediction for the angle here, and then when we go and make our observation 50.7 kilometers away, remember we didn't even put Mike's house here to get this, but we're measuring the timing in which this star is no longer visible from 50.7 kilometers away, and the time, I think it was, 6:27:25 p.m. That star gets blocked, and 50.7 kilometers away, at that same time, Mike sees it get blocked, like it's no longer there anymore. So this complete, like geometrically, the implication is this right here. As I'm removing my mouse from the star to the mountain peak to the observer to complete that side of the triangle, and then the baseline to the Mountain is obviously going to be flat, and then continuing on past that from the mountain peak, if you were on the mountain peak, that would also be flat, and that's how you show the same corresponding angle relationship between the both observation points with respect to that particular time.
God bless that parallel line.
Yep. And then if you look at the second image I posted, I added a giant telescope that extends from Mike's house to the mountain peak. Those are for the lads that say, well, we have to take it where the measurement was made, which is true, but the measurement was made with a crosshair that is a mountain peak. So my instrument is that extends from my eyes wherever I am all the way to that mountain peak. So this is to kind of give you like to kind of like represent that abstraction, right? Like what that would represent. It looks kind of silly, but conceptually, this is what we're putting forward for that. And the only way that this would work is if it's direct line of sight like this, and it would complete that triangle. That is the geometric implication. And shout out to John last night, who really reiterated that for us, for the audience. He's the first person on the other side to acknowledge the argument for what it is.
It's amazing how many people won't even bother to steel man it.
Yeah, because once you do, it's really hard. I mean, dude, when he said it out loud, it was like, did anyone else hear that? He just said our angle matches the flat Earth prediction. But his argument though is that when you account for refraction, it would put the star there, and globe refraction is whatever. And it's like, bro, we literally turned refraction off for the physical position. But so then his argument would then become that coincidentally, celestial refraction makes up the globe everywhere with respect to flat Earth angles, which is equally untenable and ridiculous.
Dude, don't forget, stellarium doesn't know where you are, right? It only knows the GPS of the occlusion of the mountain. So you can be anywhere within sight of that mountain and make the same observation at the same line of sight level observation point, right? Also,
Yep.
What's up, everyone?
Yo, what's up, Shane?
What's up, Shane?
Dude, I did not fully understand that part of it until last night. The prediction part being like how you can go anywhere after you do the after you go to stellarium and do your initial calculation, you could literally go anywhere and then complete that angle. I don't know. I know. That's so wild. It didn't really sink in.
Like, how better to invalidate they're trying to bring it back to the observer between the mountain and to be like, okay, well, stellarium has no idea where that is. So why do you think that's relevant? Like, which?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great counter argument. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's such a good argument because it had Ruhif arguing with me, pleading his case with me. Basically, he was talking to him, and I spoke up, and I was, trying to tell Ruhif the same thing y'all have been telling him. And he said, but if you account for refraction and Earth curvature, the star is at 219 and the mountain's at 219. And that was his whole argument right there.
From Mike's house, yeah, but that's not like during the day, right? And then from the house, that's where the star would be. But again, that's the significance of this, because the only way it would actually be occluded at that timing for him to observe it, corresponding to the same angle that we started with from the mountain peak, would be as if the Earth is flat. That's why he can't acknowledge it on the face of it.
Yeah, the only way they were defending it was by aggressively strawmanning it and then by quickly misunderstanding it. So the only way, like, even John said it out loud and then didn't quite grasp the implication of the words he had just said. He was like, yeah, the angle would be the same. It is a level that would be. And then the next thing he said was, but it was occluded at like 217 or something. And it was like, no, you had it, John. Oh, everyone was like, oh, he's going to say it. He's so close. Everyone was so excited. And then he just whiffed.
Yeah.
There was a guy who kept on interrupting, and you guys told him you're not qualified to be in this conversation.
Oh,
but
yeah.
He was trying to say something about along the lines of refraction does some kind of rainbow effect where you think it's occluded there. But in a nutshell, can you sum up his argument, or was there not an argument there?
Dude, argument was incoherent for one.
Yeah, he spoke for 2 minutes and said nothing. I honestly I was
So
just sick of him. I was like, he's not going to bring anything forward.
yeah, so irrespective of whatever kind of refraction you would invoke behind the mountain peak to bring the star back up, the moment it gets included the first time is the significance of it. If he was trying to say that refraction between you and the mountain would block the, like, that's retarded because you're looking at the mountain peak and the um the star through the same optical corridor, so you're not going to have two different refractions. Like, that's, like, they have to bring it to like that kind of a logical incoherency, because if they talk about it on the merit, it's like it's a triangle, bro. It has to be flat all the way through, otherwise it doesn't triangle. And I even said to John at some point, and then I'm like, are we gonna just argue against triangles now? Because, like, if you want to, I'll do it. But I don't think anyone wants to do that. And he was like, no, I don't want to argue against how a triangle works. I was like, okay, great.
When I heard that you guys don't need an actual theodolite, I was like, nice, because there's a couple of telescopes and there's a lot of flat plain areas and mountain areas here in Connecticut. So whenever we get some time, me and my buds are gonna go up North Connecticut and get some more footage, man. I like this. I like
Nice.
this proof. I like this proof
Nice.
because it takes away the refraction. It takes away Ruhiv's favorite theodolite.
Right?
It's a combination punch, man. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Dude, Dr. Mike was studying us from the shadows, preparing this concoction, and then whipped it out and just came out to weaponize it completely. It was like, oh, look at that one, too. Look what he just did. Did everyone see that? Like, damn.
Speaking in the field, somebody mentioned Taylor earlier. I remembered biblical, as far as biblical and scientific, she's a double threat. So with these conversations, it's definitely good to remind her. I add her to these conversations because she can contribute to both conversations.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Shout out to Taylor. We're actually going to be making an observation in Salt Lake, or at the Salt Flats. We're going to try and do celestial theodolite. We're gonna have a meetup.
What you can do with the Salt Flats? Oh, that's gonna be a lot of good footage.
Yeah, there's some mountain
Not
peaks
even for the
there.
flat Earth stuff. It's a beautiful place. I've seen a lot of footage on there. Just not flat Earth stuff. It's a really beautiful place.
There's lots of mountains around there too.
Yeah, it should be dope.
Yeah, Utah's full of mountains.
The other cool thing is like if you live near a city and there's like a big building or something like that, you could also use that building to do it, or like the city yeah, like skyscrapers or whatever.
The urban folk are not left out. Nice.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Everybody gets to celestial theodolite.
Is it
like
me or is this
So
whole?
I gotta say this, man. But where can I buy one of those?
Oh, you go to walmart.com/shop/online/celestial theodolite. And it's hyphenated for celestial theodolite.
Oh my god, that guy! That was on
Yeah.
one of your TikTok debates.
Yeah,
That was our resident planar surveyor who was a little bit butthurt from our last engagement, right? I think so. We came on kind of hot and a little bit salty.
yeah. You got in a triangle fight with Shane and it didn't go very well. Remember when he was like, "I'll show you the documents right now," and all of his documents were like flat Earth reference baseline stuff with corrections or something. It was the craziest thing ever.
He tried to bring up map projection distortion as an argument for, like, non-planar Earth, and I was like, hold on now, buddy, what does that say right there? Which graticule are you using? What's that slant factor? From which survey are you referring to the ellipsoid model that you have to correct to? And he was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I was like, it was your topic, dude. You wanted to show me your documents or whatever.
Show me your docs, bro. Show docs.
So yeah, but he came in super, like, definitely holding a grudge, which is kind of weird because, he could have made good arguments. The guy that we were currently arguing with was like, oh, Baron, we surrender. Good thing you're here because I don't know what the F I'm talking about. Here, you do it. And then he, like, backed out. And then Baron came in to, like, steel man the globe and handle it, everything. And then he just kind of whiffed again.
The classic.
Just thinking ahead, trying to play 4D chess. Could they say, hey, you know what? We concede finally. We understand the argument. It just happened that Stellarium probably made an area around that area since it's so rural, and the data that it got from the almanac or wherever it says, I still got to look at that code, was wrong. Could they pull that out of their ass? But I doubt it because it's so reliable and it's used everywhere. And Dr. Heffron will say a lot of the observatory will be like, "Hey, you're screwing up our data." But could that, even though it's far fetched, could that be a possible rebuttal?
That it's a spectacular coincidence that from any observer who can see that mountain, that the refraction angle happens to coincide with the flat Earth angle. I mean,
dude,
I guess they could make that argument.
Is that young Witsit down there?
I thought, but then I was like,
trying to get that celestial theodolite, bro. You trying to pick one up at Wally?
He might be having mic problems because I've gave him a mic twice.
Yeah, I vote that's an imposter.
Nice.
That our Witsit would have been able to figure this out by now. What do you guys think?
Stone's supposed to come through as well at some point to talk about the shadow sets argument. There's an addition to the shadow set argument, boys. I'll let Stone take that one because that's his little baby that he just hatched.
Dude, who'd have thought you could fight the globe Earth with basic triangles again?
Oh, dude.
Like it was so close. We had it so close.
The year of the triangle, bro?
Yo.
There he is. Hold on, man.
Yo.
Yeah, I kept on your voices kept going out every time I jumped up.
Yeah, it's just
classic Twitter.
Technology, yeah. And my co-hosts want to mute everybody.
Hey, I was trying to check for requests and it moved the mute button over on me.
How rude. Did your thumb get bigger? Is that what you just argued?
There was some refraction involved, you said?
There was some contraction.
Oh, yeah.
It was contraction.
The hell of refraction.
Dude, he was like, they moved the button on me. That's like an old person being like, my email's down. But when they mean is, I don't know how to use my computer.
Yo, what's this I hear about the analytic refraction?
The analytic? That's
Dude, we got a celestial theodolite and we have a window that makes a triangle.
So yeah, just make sure I got this right here. You check the position of the star in relation to some landmark, say a mountain. So I guess like the relative angles, the elevation angle of the mountain in relation to the background star. And yeah, for it to be on a globe, then it would have to be in an apparent location, but the accuracy in the relative angle shows that it's an actual position.
It shows where it actually was at that time to get occluded. Yep.
And the angle from the mountain precisely matches the angle you can calculate from the observer, right? Because it's on the same flat level plane.
Yep. And to kind of rephrase what you said originally to start off the prediction, you start with the mountain peak and then just getting the angle to, whatever star would be occluded at that angle. And you just wait till you have a star that intersects with that crosshair. Find out what star you want to use.
Can you walk us through that and how they're turning this into a globe measurement?
Absolutely. 1 second.
Well, I mean, they're not. They're just trying to. They can strawman it and then turn that into a globe argument.
Yo, yeah, I definitely want to hear it all broken down. But guess what? Apparently, may happen. Apparently, I may be debating Jaren on MDV.
Nice, bro.
No.
Who could have saw that coming? It was me. I saw it coming.
Man,
Really, dude?
I don't know what the hell's going on with that dude.
I didn't see it coming. I thought there was no way. I mean, I thought he made it pretty clear publicly. He's like, for all those people that keep asking, obviously, no, I'm not going to be debating.
Did he challenge you or
Austin. Well, James messaged me and was like, yo, would you be down to have like the most epic flat earth debate ever with your boy Jaren? And I said, he would never, to be honest. And he said, oh, yes, he would. I've already talked to him. And I was like,
oh, stop.
Oh, he's getting all ballsy, huh?
Yeah. Well, good luck, man.
Unintentional good pun.
How you guys think I should do it?
Oh, dude. Yes.
You have to.
Mercilessly.
Mercilessly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
mean, he's going to be bringing all the same stuff that Duffy is saying, I imagine, because that must be what's giving him confidence.
He's gonna slide up on me with some begging the question, affirming the consequent nonsense. That's what. No
Bro,
way,
he
right?
has he has to go through it, bro.
He's gonna.
Yeah,
That would
hold
be
his feet to
wild.
the hold his feet to the fire, Austin. Definitely.
Oh, if I do the debate, then yeah, it's gloves off. It's intellectual gloves off. I mean, I can just foresee that having some type of consequences. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh,
It'll be cool. It'll be fine.
I guess he's kind of asking for it. Yeah.
Kind of.
If he's down to do it, I mean, do it. If not, other people will do it.
He's gonna tear you up with that Home Depot analogy.
Nah, man, I wake up at night thinking about the Home Depot.
They're going to
Nobody
present the
forgets that one.
long-lorded converging meridians terrestrial measurement. They said they have.
I just don't see this happening, bro. Like, because from my understanding, even in person, I was trying to talk to him. So like we got back from the trip, and on the flight back is when he said he thinks it might be a sphere. I was like, what? Like, what? I was trying to talk to him, and I'm like, every time I would bring up FE evidence, he would just say, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Everything else says that the Earth is not a globe, but with this, it has to be, or something like that. I'm like, what? Yeah. So I guess my point is, it seems like kind of his whole approach here is like, no, I don't know any rebuttals for all of this flat Earth evidence or falsification of the globe, but I don't see how this observation could work on a flat Earth, and it matches the globe perfectly. Therefore, Earth's a globe. Like, I think that's his position, right? So it's like,
I thought he would bring
retarded.
only TFE stuff, like specifically. That's why he would debate you, because like before this, he would never debate you. And they said with that, whenever he would, get doubt, he would just watch you debate and then get confidence, right? So like, how would he go from that position to I can take him?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, it's like obviously everyone knows what that is, right? It's like fundamentally an appeal to incredulity. That's what it actually is. He's incredulous. He's saying he doesn't understand how the Earth can be flat with any other map than that, and he doesn't understand how the sun could work that way on a flat Earth. So it can't be flat. Like it's an appeal to incredulity.
Yeah, he clearly didn't understand the map as a projection flattened out. Like he thought, like you might have thought that Australia was literally that size. Might have mistook the vertical, like the azimuthal distance scaling with southern latitudes as actual. Like you must think that's what Earth looks like to have it be debunked for you, because otherwise the Mercator, you can't debunk one azimuthal projection and not have the Mercator be debunked, or any other cylindrical equal area debunked. It just doesn't work that way. It's just a different projection of the same data. So then I don't know how he kept repeating that and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's like, yikes, I'm gonna take like a pretty extended step away and then come back and have to debate Jaren. Like, what has happened?
It's been rough in these streets, dude. I guess I don't know. People would be going crazy.
Yeah, everybody be talking trash. I just be so.
I'm surprised he challenged you and not boy Flatsoid or the Sovereign.
Well, I think it's James' idea, honestly, because the story's juicy. He's gonna make a killing, right? Like he's gonna get lots of super chats. So
Hey, Witcher, did you get to hear Elizabeth on Strange World? I forget what version it was, but her and Mark and some DJ guy were talking at about 2 hour in some show, and he spilled the beans on freaking Jerry, and he goes, "If I come back, and I'm believe in NASA, they got to me."
well, I don't think he says he believes in that, right?
Well, isn't he doing videos saying how rocket launches prove space or something? I haven't been watching, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
I literally have no idea.
I think he's specifically saying rocket launches prove space or curvature. I gotta really look at the argument he's making, but he's definitely using rocket launches now.
He's using we don't understand scale.
I think I've heard something about. I will say this though, like, cause I was messaging him about the summits, cause I guess that's kind of getting.
We lost you, man. Is it me?
Your mic cut out, Brody.
Now we lost him.
All right. "2025 technology, boys and girls."
Yeah, he's back. Toss him the mic there.
Where's he at?
What Jaron
Yeah.
was saying with the rockets is he's like 175 miles away or whatever, and he can see it at, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that. So that means Earth's a globe, right?
You know,
I'm out of breath.
I heard
What was
that.
he
I heard it one time. I started laughing. I didn't listen to it again.
Didn't Dave give him an answer about a cloud deck or something? I don't understand even the argument nor the refutation.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, but that's what he's saying.
He pulled out this diagram of a ball, and then he started zooming in on it and said, "We don't understand scale because here's where we're at on this, and everything we're going to see is." I mean, he used the scale argument, man. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now, Jaron? Really?
Yeah, it's all very surreal.
What's up, Mr. Xavier?
Yeah, I was just taking a while looking for things. Here's a long and short of my perspective on this. As far as not being aware of what you were saying, here's why it's complete bullshit. I'm going to try to hold two devices. This is the Jaron understanding the implications of the orbital velocity that's predicted with the globe Earth model not being what it is, why it can't be what it is. So regardless of him being a globe earther now, quote unquote, he'd have to throw out a lot of things, which he does understand. How do we know that he understands? Let me see.
Copernicans of that day were not about to accept the prima facie results of Michelson's experiment. They knew the catastrophic scientific, cultural, and religious implications if it was experimentally shown that the Earth is fixed in space. Pressured to provide a scientific answer to the world, they searched for a way to make it appear that the first light beam did indeed provide 6/6 of the retarded speed required for an Earth moving around the sun. To do so, they thought up an ingenious but devious explanation. As noted above, they claimed the Earth's movement around the sun contracted the metal enclosure in which the first light beam traveled. If the length of the housing is contracted, then the first light beam does not need to travel as far as when the housing is not contracted. This would account for why the speed of the two light beams did not differ much. With this contrived explanation, they proposed to the world that the contraction of Michelson's apparatus was the reason the Earth appeared to be motionless. In effect, if someone said to them, "You claim the Earth is moving, but you admit you cannot detect that movement by any experiment," they would retort, "Well, we can't detect it because every time we try and do so, the length of the experimental apparatus shrinks just enough to conceal the movement, which makes it impossible to measure the Earth's movement."
What
From
a
start to finish, the whole enterprise.
And so it's not a matter of ignorance. He sold out.
He's sold out, man. He's
It's not,
now.
it's hold on. Let me finish. I really need to get this out. It's not about if he sold out. It's a matter of when he sold the fuck out. And he's throwing everybody under the bus. He's throwing Shane under the bus with his model. He's throwing you under the bus. He's throwing Dave, who has been defending him and showing how, listen, some of this stuff that you guys are critiquing, there's some validity, but there's some of them are not. And here's the why. Here's the drone, et cetera, et cetera. And he's calling his boy, and you're closer to him than any of us, that he's full of shit. It's not. Is it even a choice that you have to retort? The thing that bothers me is, why hasn't this happened already? We don't even need him to accept the debate. Just tear up everything he has. He's one of the biggest flat earthers that converted, quote unquote, converted. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. And it's looking guilty by association why nobody's attacking him. I'm just going to outright say it. It's looking really sus. Right now, we're in a spiritual war. He understands the importance of God. And excuse my language, Christians, this is the biblical space. He said Jesus could suck his dick. Okay? Him and his wife want to know if they can summon Satan. He sold out way before he went down there. Period. Period. Nobody alienates their audience that is predominantly Christian by going crazy like that. So,
bro,
in conclusion to that.
Hey.
Hold on, dude, hold on. In conclusion to that, there's a lot of science that he can't ignore. Aries, Michelson, that he knows about, and he contributed to these arguments. What was he, editing his videos and went completely retarded? No, he knows the arguments. He knows the arguments. He sold out. It's not if he sold out, it's a matter of when. And I think it's our responsibility. And I didn't want to take on I was going to actually do the arguments, but it's your guys' arguments. I don't know Shane's model. He's throwing Shane under the bus. I communicated to Shane, and as soon as it happened, like, bro, how do you feel about this? And he's not really caring about it. That's his choice. But I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling that. So he's coming at you guys. He's not coming at me. I don't understand why there's a passive attitude on this. He's being a complete asshole. Not just, oh, he's converted. He's being a complete asshole. He needs to be taken down yesterday.
So as to selling out, so go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I feel you 100% on that. Go ahead. I feel your sentiment there, Xavier, 100%. Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
It's all good. As to selling out, I don't know. You do make some pretty good points. But I think a huge factor at play is the treatment that he's received from so many quote unquote flat earthers after he came back about just some of the vile stuff, coupled with the gaslighting that's happening from Globers. Like, I don't know if you guys happen to see the stream that he did with McToon, but you could just see the cheerfulness in McToon's eyes, like he's breaking up the family. You know, it's Austin's good friend, and I'm gonna split this team apart. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. The selling out, I mean, you do make some good points. As far as I know, with the whole, like, Jesus can S my D, I think he says that was like 10 years ago in a heated debate. I mean, regardless, but definitely a spiritual battle at play, I think.
Yeah. So on what you said, Zave, about responding to what Jaron has been saying and stuff, we're going to do an open discussion on he's got like a list of 8 or 12 things or something like that. So on the last Tuesday of the month, we're going to be doing an open discussion. Like there was actually a recent roundtable by, I forget who hosted it, but it'll be similar to that. But we're going to go over all of the things on Jaron's list, which is primarily sky things, which some of them we have answers for. Some of them is just wild speculation, and their answer is just ball curve. So it's like, okay, tomato, tomato. But like you were saying, we have mutually exclusive things like celestial theodolite, battle of the beams, circumpolar navigation never being manifested in the proper transformation when you look at the so-called satellite orbits and stuff, or the terrestrial navigation where they say that they went circumpolar navigating. And the one that Stone just put forward tonight, well, he added to an old argument, which is the shadow set argument. So now we have precise measurements and a triangle relationship, so we can draw out some angles to show that the sun is still well above the horizon to create the shadow in the first place, which was measured on Stone's wall. So we have, lots of things that show that the Earth is measurably flat with respect to even the stars, right? Because originally the null hypothesis was that it actually still stands in that regard, but using it for not telling you what the shape is, but what it isn't. Well, the globe doesn't have a single elevation angle prediction for physical obstructions of all these things with respect to sea level. So guess what that means, lads? It's flat. So there's a lot to go over, but yeah, some of the stuff that he's put forward and kind of griping about is like, all right, it's like a misunderstanding of XYZ. And it's like, how many people misunderstand XYZ about our arguments? Like, now I know there's you got to add priority to it because of the significance of who's having the misunderstanding now or whatever. But yeah, we're getting to it on the last Tuesday of the month.
He's real big on
Yay.
that apparent sun. He thinks that's BS.
It's apparent in his model too. That's a retarded position to take.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be sweet. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to offer something that I don't know if anybody ever saw before, but I love the debate over things, and it's almost like the Bible. It's going either way. Is it flat or is it round? And people, all Bible scholars everywhere, they're like, oh, well, circle actually means sphere, and they're going back and forth. The face of they're using. It's almost like it can go either way. I found something that I think that you guys would find extremely interesting. In Job 38:22, I don't know if you guys have access to it right now, but if we read I'll just read it quick in English, pick a translation. I don't read the translations, I read the original Hebrew. Job 38:22 and 23, we're going to do both of them. Either way, I'm of the belief that the Earth isn't what they're telling us. It's obviously the plane of inertia, probably. Ken Wheeler has a lot of awesome videos. But have you entered into the storehouses of the snow or seen the storehouses of the hail? And then 23, this is the Lord Yahweh talking, which I do videos on him a lot. I'm just telling you what he's saying about the storehouses of the snow and the iced areas. It says in verse 23 of Job 38, which I reserve for times of trouble, for days of wars. Read whatever version you want. I'm going to read it to you in the original language of what it actually says. And this, I think you guys will find very intriguing because, we all, they obviously have stuff in Antarctica that they don't want us to know. Whether it's the UFOs from the Germans, the technology that can take us.
Go ahead and read it. We got you.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So I'm just going to do the actual word definitions. So have you entered? Have you gone into the treasury? The word for treasury or storehouse is a depository of knowledge, wealth, and resources. Of resources, of things that are a cellar, an armory. Okay, again, UFOs. Of the snow, what is the snow? The snow is almost the white areas, the snow, the ice areas.
What are you talking about, man?
I'm gonna get there.
Making this up to
I don't think I've taken enough acid to understand.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't do anything.
Or is this like your own?
Yeah. If this isn't related, we got a banger lined up.
Well, Jesus and Lucifer are brothers, according to him. So.
It's completely related. I'm giving you
like 12 seconds. Can you do it in 12 seconds?
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Let's go.
All right. Well, I'll just say the next verse. Yahweh says, I am holding you back from going to these places of the storehouses, that he's actually holding us back because if we do go there, that is the time of trouble and warfare because of the technology that's there. Yahweh is the one in Job 38:22 and 23 that's holding us back from going to Antarctica. And I think that's something that's very important for everybody.
See how you get that from that at all, bro.
You're not reading the original Hebrew. You have to actually read the definition.
You said you were going to read it and you didn't. Then you went on to some.
Oh, well, you told me to hurry up. You told me to hurry up in 12 seconds.
No, no, actually, I said go ahead and read it. Then you went on your.
Someone said 12 seconds. Okay, I couldn't.
Well, that was after your tirade with the aliens, where you started making up stuff. If you
I'm not making up anything. I'm reading it word for word, linguistically
I was
by the definition.
You were never going to read anything. That's why I said 12 seconds. And it's amazing that it didn't happen in 12 seconds. And I was
you could have read it.
Speaking of really interesting stuff,
are you going to continue on with your story, or are you going to read it in Hebrew?
I'm going to read it in the original language. I won't put any interjections in.
Good. Go.
Okay, so here we go. So just read it with me. Go to the interlinear of any Bible hub. So it says, which I have the word even, I won't put any interjections in.
Good. Go.
Okay, so here we go. So so just read it with me. Go to the interlinear of any Bible hub. So it says, which I have, the word for reserved in Job 38:23 is to restrain, withhold, and refrain.
Are you giving
from going to?
Are you going to read?
Yes, that's the word for. Yes, I'm reading. Yes, I'm reading the definition of the word. So Yahweh said, which I am holding you back. The word for reserved is holding you back for the time of trouble. The word for trouble is for the time of adversary.
And how is this?
He's holding.
Dealing with Antarctica. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Go ahead. Tell me.
Okay, all right. Okay, so if you read the original language of the original definition, it's telling you that the Lord of the Bible, which I do videos on this, is not the same as the Genesis 1 Elohim. He is holding us back from going to Antarctica in this specific and precise, these two verses that I just shared with you. He's the one.
Yeah, man, I think you're kind of reaching. I don't see it.
I think he'd have went on for.
Finding the words again.
No, I just clearly wanted to talk. It's just make it about me. Let me insert my thing into whatever you guys are doing. That's just what it is.
So anyway, that was that.
No, I was reading it in the Hebrew definition. So do you want me to read it in the?
Jim,
you blew it, Jim. It was
No,
a nice try, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't want you to read it.
I'll share
anymore.
the video in the chat.
Thanks. Yo, speaking of videos in the chat, you guys want to hear about another mutually exclusive triangle that's created from a celestial observation?
yes.
Only if it has to do with shadow angles and our flat Earth sun. Is that
All right.
right?
Well, there's only one way to start the process. We have to summon Man of Stone by chanting "Stone, Stone, Stone."
Stone. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Good to make it here. I've been sitting here for over an hour for BitChute to review this freaking video I uploaded so that I can post the tag to it here and everybody can watch it, off the Jumbotron. But I guess that's just not going to happen anytime soon. So anybody who wants to see it, of course, can buzz over to YouTube instead, to Alan's Space Audits channel. Hit the live tab, and hit the couple of thoughts about sunsets in review. This is a sneak peek that we held this evening of my latest video. And it is the empirical evidence that a man by the name of WJB on YouTube with a channel called Shadow Reveal, all one word, Shadow Reveal, put up a video 3 years ago where he modeled what we would expect to see on the wall opposite a west-facing wall of your house with a window in it at sundown. And what he did was he threw a couple of objects outside the house that are the same height as the sill of the window through which all the sunlight is coming, and then casting shadow or bright spot, if you will, on the opposite wall, on the east wall of the house, looking west. So he put two models together and showed, of course, the Globe expectation and the flat Earth expectation of what you would see on the wall at the moment the sun finally comes down and hits the horizon at the end of every day. And the differences are striking, geometrically, intuitively correct, objective, you might say, where he's setting up expectation. Like when we look at the wall while the sun's going down behind us outside the house, we're going to see either what the globies expect, where the sun is going to drop below the horizon, and as it does that, anything outside the house that is roughly the height of the sill of the window on that west wall would eclipse, would be occluded. It would be producing a shadow higher than the sill of the wall, and therefore even inside the building, you would see shadows moving up the wall as the sun goes down outside. On the flatty expectation, the sun never reaches the horizon entirely. It moves away from you. And as it does, the one factor, not refraction, Globies, so you can put that one away in your tool chest for now, the one factor he's relying on in showing a striking difference between the two models is the opacity of air. And that when the sun gets farther away and it's closer to the horizon, there is more and more denser and denser air between you and the sun. And eventually the brightness of the sun is not enough to punch through the air anymore. And you just don't see it anymore. It's not like it disappears from the bottom up, like all of the favorite Globy videos that they've shot down at the beach, over the water, where you see the sun disappear from the bottom up. The all too familiar stuff that I'm sure most of you have seen ad nauseum. No, he has completely changed it around in the flatty expectation that on the wall, when the door is behind you with the window on it, and the sun is even farther behind you to the extreme west, you're looking to the east at the wall, that the light coming through the window, hitting the wall in front of you, goes from the floor up as the sun goes down, but it doesn't ever reach the height of the window itself. It comes a little bit short of that, and it fades out due to the opacity of air. And in his video that he put out 3 years ago, of course, he calls for people to set it up and observe it. Get the data. And we all know that's what I'm about. So, hey, as fate would have it, here in Uruguay, I designed and built my own house. And I actually have that going on with my front door, the window that's on my front door on my west wall of the house. And the first wall it hits 6.7 meters away, and it produces that exact same effect that he shows in his modeling. So back in November, I threw the camera up and pointed it at the wall and watched the sun go all the way up. And don't you know, it did exactly what he showed in the flat Earth model. That the sunset, the shadow comes up off the floor, the light comes all the way up the wall, and it slows down to nearly no vertical progression at all and fades out. Well, what do you know? I showed that to Alan back in November. We showed it to a few Globies, and of course they were digging as hard as they possibly could to explain it away and say that it's not valid and that's not real and no, here's why. No, you got it wrong. Well, they wanted to see confirmation that it didn't really get as high as the window on my door. That what we're watching on the wall never really does go as high, and that, you know, there's no occlusion going on. They wanted to see proof of that in terms of a measurement. They also want to know what's going on outside the house, between the house and the sun. Where is the moment that we should be expecting the occlusion to begin? You know, how far from absolutely horizontal before the sun starts to disappear, or the sun produces a shadow from what's outside the house being backlit by the sun, shining through the window, hitting the opposite wall, and producing a shadow as the sun drops below the horizon. Well, okay, February 9th was that day for me when the conditions were again just right on the other side of the solstice where the sun is coming down, and I look to the west. In fact, I look 18 degrees to the left of west. That's where the sun was coming down to the horizon at 2:52. And when I took my camera and set it up a second time, I grabbed a little round magnet, 30 millimeter diameter piece of plastic with a magnet on it, and I tossed it up on the wall that the center of the magnet is the same height as the bottom edge of that window on the door on the opposite wall. So we've got that right in the shot when we're taking the video. As well, courtesy of Google Earth, I show the topography to the west of my house. And it turns out around 1,400 meters away, there's a ridge. A road goes by from south to north, you know what I mean? From right to left, away from the highway. And right at 252, the intersection between those two, at 1,400 meters away, that is 16 meters above the height of the bottom of the window on my door. So in my example, in my observation, in my data, we're actually giving it to the globies. We're helping them out to the tune of 16 meters above what WJB put in his own modeling with the objects outside the house that were the same height as the bottom of the windowsill through which the light was shining in his modeling. I hope everybody's following this. And if it's not, by all means, head over to Alan's Space Audits channel on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're having trouble with this, definitely go and watch the video that Stone put out and follow his BitChute and check it out there. When you see the diagrams along with the story of how this unfolded, and then you see the triangles and the graphs and stuff, you understand the significance of the shadow set argument. Please continue, Stone.
Entirely. And even if you don't get it the first time around, listen to the review, because we break down all the nuts and bolts, and we relate it to the angular diameter of the sun being 1/2 a degree, give or take. And we relate it to how much of that we still see in terms of angle above the peak, 1,400 meters away to the west of my house. And that we're leaning towards the globies in giving them these extra 16 meters of what we would expect to see on the wall before the sun is completely down. And we see nothing of the sort. In fact, there's 0.34 of a degree of give on our side, where we're still looking at 70% of the sun at the moment it fades out. It's just amazing footage.
So you're saying the sun sets at 70% above the horizon based upon the angular difference of about 0.31 degrees and its usual angular diameter of 0.52?
Not even just above the horizon, but above the peak, 1,400 meters to the west of the house, that we're still seeing, angularly speaking, 0.34 degrees of the 0.5 degrees that the sun is. Because the globies always say the sun never changes size, so we're going to hold them to that. And we're going to say that 70% of the sun was still visible above that ridge, 16 meters above the base of my window height, 1,400 meters away. That there's 2/3 of a degree there between absolutely horizon and that peak. That it is 2/3 of a degree up from absolutely flat. And we still see 70% of the sun above that. That's what I'm saying.
For comparison, in the globe model, how many percent above the horizon should it be when it sets? Is it 0? I think it should be 0. Is it more than 0?
Well,
like
with the globies,
what response would
it
they
should
give for that?
disappear. What the response? I can't wait. Good question, Sam. Can't wait.
The only thing that I can think of them saying would be some type of refraction or something.
Oh, yes. And we handle that in the video as well, because topography is everything, and situation. Like where I sit here, my house is a little more than 200 meters above sea level. So we're not down at the beach shooting over the water. No, no, no. In fact, the beach is 40 kilometers away to the east, not the west. That it doesn't play a factor at all. This is entirely a completely terrestrial observation. And Elon keeps turning down my mic. What a pain in the ass.
Dude, the globe was finally just trying to get back up after that celestial theodolite observation. It was just trying to get back up, dazed and confused. Stone comes in with the haymaker.
With the slam dunk, fully quantified, as precise as you could possibly hope to see. Fully graphed and diagrammed out in the 8-minute video reviewed on Alan's channel, and I'm still waiting for BitChute to get to pull the thumb out of their ass. I'm over an hour now reviewing this bloody video, but I guess that's just what happens on a Friday night downtown at BitChute. I think it's 3 guys in a coffee cup. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're not doing it very quickly. I'll tell you that.
Stone, I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes BitChute videos just never process, and you have to redo it. Does that ever happen to you?
Way ahead of you, Shane. I actually uploaded the whole fucking thing an hour, like 61 minutes later. I uploaded the whole thing again.
You got it. All right, cool.
And that was 25 minutes ago.
Cheers, bro. You know how it goes.
20.
Oh yeah,
technology.
Oh, yeah. What's that, Brian?
It's 2025 technology.
Yeah, we're kicking some ass. We're going to Mars, dude.
I'm telling you, man. What's up, Antarctic?
I can't believe that you just ended with that, because that was my part of my question. I see Whitsitt here. I'm not sure if he's on the mic. Haven't been in many spaces, but I've managed to get a mic with Whitsitt. But if he is listening, I'd like to pose what his interpretation of Elon going to Mars is. No coincidences that it ended with that. But yeah, I'm curious as to what Whitsitt thinks, and maybe a few others. Cheers, Brian.
I think you're muted there, Whitsitt.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah, he's pushing the button, but he's got a local mute problem there.
Yeah.
You guys didn't hear the profundity he just dropped? That's on you, man.
Damn it. Elon.
Nah, he's out and in. Got to throw him mic again in a sec, I guess.
But fair play to you, Cage. We're putting on another hours of great entertainment on the Friday. Thanks so much. And good to see you, Conspiracy. I haven't seen you for a while. I don't know who's caught who up now on getting banned the most. You or boy?
I'm working on it, man. There's people out there that are ahead of me, but I'll catch them.
Well, I think there's a very consistent group of haters that you personally inflict more than most, and that's probably why you get banned more than most, right? Because they just try to get you any which way they can.
Man, I got some visceral reaction out there.
Yeah, you pissed off somebody a lot. Like, it's not like a lot of people a little bit. You pissed off like 7 people to the point where they dedicated their life to trace you down and remove you from places like Twitter.
Was the latest ban from that World War II thread? I saw that, and then I just saw a bunch of areas where it was like, this comment is from an account that no longer exists. It was like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah,
I bet.
No, I'm pretty sure it was that Ken's space on Wednesday or whatever it was.
No, it was. That's why they're not even worth dealing with anymore, man. I was even being polite and giving them,
They were asking you.
Yeah. And I was polite about it. I didn't like throw it in their face. I said, here, check this out. No. Yeah. We know who runs this platform.
So, hello. I'd like to congratulate Stone on such a great experiment, or such a great test. The thing that hits me about it is it could probably be repeated every day that you have a sunset from pretty much anywhere. So this could be a test that could be done as long as you are able to see the horizon anywhere. It should never, in my opinion, model the globe model from any place on Earth.
Many thanks, man. And yeah, it feels pretty good to be the one to drop this kind of bomb. Fully quantified, fully measured, and completely aligned with everything that WJB put into that video 3 years ago. And you're right, ultimately replicable, easily set up, easily measured, easily done, no special tools required. zero expense kind of thing. And you're right. No excuses for anybody. Everybody should be able to do this, given that they've got a wall facing west with an opening on it. I mean, you don't even have to have the other wall. You can create one. You know what I mean?
Real
Get
fast.
a certain distance and just set up your measurements, and away you go with your camera.
What are you guys talking about? I want to see this because I just came back in.
I'm about to post it in the Jumbotron as soon as BitChute pulls the thumb out of their ass.
Is it
for 95 minutes now? I've been waiting for them to release this video. It's only 8 minutes long, for God's sake.
Is it
I've uploaded it twice.
Send us your channel, Stone. We can always find it later.
Oh, I sure can. I actually put that in the same post. But on Telegram, just check. Actually, even right here, right-click me, open up my bio, right here on Twitter, and I list my Telegram, where you can find me and I think the Stone Cold True channel. And if you get in there and you punch accept guidelines on the bottom of the rules slate on your way in, go up to actually, forget that. It's the most recent post. It'll take you right over to my very own channel, also on Telegram. You can watch the nice, pretty high-res version of it. But if you'd like to see the sneak peek of it and the detailed review, head over to Alan's channel on YouTube, Space Audits, punch the live tab, and it's a couple thoughts about sunsets. It's not very long. We watch it twice, once all the way through, and then comment or two get brought up, question or two, and then I break it down, nuts and bolts, graphs and diagrams and all, fully laid out for anybody who wants to catch up on what we've been talking about here. It's very exciting stuff.
Dude, posted it online or in the timeline there, and I posted it up here in the Jumbotron.
Yeah, it's on Twitter too. So
It's so nice that we finally have an answer to the age-old question: does sunsets don't work on a flat Earth? Like, what? Did you know that? Did you know that shadow sets, that the corresponding antecedent to your globe set doesn't work?
It doesn't work on a globe, bro.
Yeah, it's not globing. It's flat earthing. What's wrong?
Dude, imagine quantifying that the sun actually sets 70% above the horizon. What do you say about that? It's like, okay.
16 meters above 70% above. I mean, like, we gave it to them and they still couldn't score a point.
Crazy.
Yeah, good stuff. It's been a good week. Good couple of weeks.
And you said your measurement device was a window?
Where do I get a window at?
We went uber high tech.
A window at the theodolite?
So now we got celestial theodolites and window theodolites. Man, come on.
Well, isn't that the way Cryptosthenes figured out the Earth was flat using a window?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good one. Good one.
He had a westward-facing window in his cave.
A westward-facing gnomon on the bottom of his well, so to speak, or whatever.
And he lived in a cave that was in between the tropics, so the well that he was using, also he could see the reflection of the sun, so he could do his own measurements. And dude, wouldn't you know it? Like, he actually had his own team of geodetic surveyors that already knew the dimensions of the Earth, so he could cross-reference another well at the exact distance. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Invented surveying.
God, this is serious motivation to get
I imagine you
Rumble
probably do it.
instead. These guys just cannot pull their thumb out. It's unbelievable how slow this is. 8-minute video, 100 minutes later, it still hasn't been reviewed and released. Like, get a grip. My God.
Imagine you can probably do a similar test facing east, right, for sunrise.
You kind of sound like you're talking into a tin can, my man.
Sorry about that. I'll take my headsets off.
Pretty quiet room after that. Mic drop. Yo.
What's up, Mr. Xavier?
Yeah, no, particularly
with me. Did this channel just break down?
No, you're good.
Now, what I love about Stone's video is that they have to deny the behavior of shadows, which I've never seen somebody apply refraction to shadows. So good luck with that. But somebody earlier,
It did. Totally lost the net there. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
sir.
We can always hear you.
Can he hear us though?
Can you hear us now?
I feel like his wife stole the bandwidth. Power struggle continues.
Yeah.
She was like, I have to update Angry Birds and or whatever.
Sorry.
No, somebody earlier asked for what do you think about the Mars mission? I don't know if you guys know, but there was for the gentleman who asked, there was a trained astronauts where they were simulating being launched into orbit, and they never were launched. They were just
all right. We're back now. That was actually Elon. Pretty sure, man. I'm
sure
using
he can't
Balloon Link, right? So there's all bets are off, man.
Can you hear Mr. Xavier?
Yes, we can.
All right.
No, I'll just tie it in so he can start going. I'll just tie it up real quick. But the long story short, they didn't know that they were not being launched into space. So could something like that be happening again for astronauts trained to go to quote unquote Mars? I'm sure it wouldn't be to Devon Island again, where they trained the rover. Probably somewhere else, maybe far other lands. Who knows? But that's just my take on that.
Dude,
anyway, go ahead, Stone.
Yeah, I think it's totally metaphorical.
Real quick.
Devon Island?
Yeah, dude, Shane, do you have that image of where they said they took a picture of the sun or whatever from Mars and the horizon matched the like what they say like it's showing us from Earth? Where they you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what I did with it, but it was from that Curiosity account, the one I followed that everyone we all like to make fun of every day that shows like pictures from
Right.
space. They showed a sunset from quote Mars that had the exact appeared to be the same angular resolution as Earth, and when you do like angular size formula, consider the distance disparity between
Right, it
Mars
was
and Earth, it should be
right.
like a third smaller or whatever right off the bat, and they were like, and I think I think they posted a different one where it was smaller later.
No way.
Not to
No
say that we
way.
caused that, but yeah, they probably
Yo.
created a CGI thing that was like, oh shit, you're right.
Oh,
Let's make
dude.
it 30% smaller or whatever.
Do you have the update documented? I didn't know about that. That's hilarious. We should definitely put that on the wall. That's hilarious.
I gotta follow it because I definitely replied to it. It was like,
Yeah,
no,
dude,
no,
I
look at
remember. I'm like, you
that.
corrected it for him, and then they changed it. They were like, oh yeah, he's right. Oops. That's so funny. All right, anyway, please continue, lads. I just Mars, man. Close to my heart, space travel.
Exposed.
Dude, all the stuff they post, they're like, look at the sun. You guys are the first to see a sunset from Mars. And I'm like, yeah, what are the odds that's just the sunset, guys? Look, it looks the same. Hey, it looks exactly the same. Well, look, it's the same size. Like, get the hell out of here or whatever. Was that
Classic,
one
dude.
that Newfoundland? Yeah.
That feel when your billion-dollar space agency posts a picture from another celestial body, but it shows the same angular size for the sun as it is on Earth. Oopies. Dude, you guys like getting bamboozled down there in the globe section or whatever?
It finally popped,
That's what
gentlemen.
I'm wondering. We got all these guys down here. Yeah, we got all these guys down here in the listener section, and shout out to everybody. Thanks for joining space. 7 Anons down there. No one's gonna come up here and challenge this stuff. You're just gonna let this roll.
24 in the Anon section. Shame.
I only see 7.
Really? Oh, mine shows 24. Holy crap, eh? But announcement, it finally popped. I just posted to the Jumbotron. The BitChute link is there for anybody who wants to watch the low-res version, and people who are smart enough to be on Telegram can hit the other tag and watch the high-res version, so you can just zoom in on the graphs and stuff and get as much detail as you can possibly stand.
Thank you, Stone. Thank you for your hard work, man.
Enjoy.
See my boy Plain Reality down there. Boy Simpu, TM, Lily.
Shout out to
Dude, so many lads down there.
I know.
Just in ladettes.
Methuselah, Mr.
Yeah.
Lisbeth. Lily,
Lisbeth?
TM.
Oh, dude, you got to bring up Lisbeth.
Shout out to Clubhouse Hat.
You got to bring up the Coughster as well. Foster's
For
very
sure.
familiar with the shadow set argument. I'm sure he would appreciate the update. Actually, that man knows his way around a triangle, so much respect.
Who's that?
He's one of the other gentlemen who seem to understand the celestial theodolite.
Yeah, but Coffee's got a bit of an honesty problem. When I
Being
was talking to him about the asymmetricality of climate north to south in the video that I put up about that a couple of years ago, we were in Clubhouse talking about that for a while. And he started to use some really weird kinds of arguments to try and refute what I was asserting from regularly accessible timeanddate.com kind of climate information and the temperature differential, latitude for latitude, north to south, and how there's a 12-degree difference Celsius summer to summer. And they just don't quite seem to have an adequate explanation for that. Following that discussion on subsequent nights in Clubhouse, when I was not there, Coffee decided to explain to everybody how he was, quote, cooking me on the subject, which I found a little irritating and yet a little bit entertaining at the same time. So I don't know how valid a perspective we can rely on for Coffee, but hey, give him a shot. He might come around with a little bit more empiricism. Is what we're talking about tonight.
I did shoot him an invite down there. If he wants to come up here and defend his position. We also have who is he down there? He is still here. Concave Cellular Earth. I don't know.
Oh, that boy's a bundle of joy.
Yeah, I don't know how he feels about all these measurements and how they go against his viewpoints. If he wanted to come up here.
I think I saw Jenny down there a minute ago. I think she just walked out after I busted Coffee's ass. Maybe it's past her bedtime anyways. Remember that teacher, the private school teacher, middle school, developing a new curriculum for her kids based on flat earth and stuff and open-mindedness, etc., empiricism?
Yeah, she's still down there.
She is good.
The icon.
Yeah, hi, Jenny. Yeah, glad you could make it. That's cool, man.
Coffee is the epi bully.
Yeah, it's very encouraging when educators who are teaching our youth, keeping them open-minded. I just hope she'd be careful, you get that the word out of actually teaching.
Yeah.
They might not like that so much.
I don't know. I got the impression that she checked it over with the boss as in the school there. They didn't seem too against anything she had to say. So, yeah, I expect good things to come out of that. That's going to be great to hear about.
I actually had a teacher come in earlier today and then said that she was teaching her kids that the sun we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. And then I asked her if she had ever heard of Aries failure or Michelson-Morley, and she said no. And I said, well, don't you find it weird that you're teaching these kids this stuff? There's stuff that goes against it and you don't even know about it? And then she said I was getting hostile and ended up leaving. Teachers get upset when you question them.
Yeah, it happens when you question their knowledge base. They kind of attach it to their ego a little bit, and you can expect that from the uninitiated.
She said I was getting hostile and I was making her feel uncomfortable, and I'm going to have to leave here with a bad taste in my mouth.
I think she probably was searching for the word confrontational, and I see no negative aspect to that word. You know what I mean? When it's like, hey, here's the data. Hello, let's talk about the data, not what you think about it. And it gets into a more straight up objective conversation.
And I was like, you've never even seen me get hostile. What are you talking about? This is me being totally chill right now.
The truth shouldn't fear investigation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Teachers, they don't like it when you question them. She just wanted to say what she had to say.
Hey, when it comes to the truth, I invite investigation. That's the fun part.
Right? I mean, that's what I say too. I'm like, what are you guys fighting this for? I thought you were in it for the truth. Seems like you're in it to protect a narrative. And that's not cool. That's not cool at all. The truth doesn't fear investigation, so don't fear the truth. None of you guys down there?
Nah.
The government tells me what's true. If I want to know something, I just turn on the old television and Tucker Carlson will tell me.
Government.
And Hannity.
Is that guy still tucking, or who's the big news lads now? I know some of them passed away recently.
Rachel Maddow has really been spitting some facts lately.
No snap, she's still in the game. Shout out to your girl.
Oh yeah.
CNN's still around? Damn it.
Holding it down.
Hannity's having a hard time believing that Israel's controlling us.
What?
Yeah. So like that's not true.
It's like the guy paying me is not in charge. That's crazy.
Total puppet.
The people who own the institution I work for aren't in charge. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Listen, the border direct. Oh, wait.
But Trump's going to save us, so that's a good thing.
That's dope.
It was quite funny in the UK over the weekend, last weekend, where the whole press of Europe slated Trump for how he spoke to Zelensky. But then when Zelensky made his retractable apology via X, they could only, the BBC journalists could only go to X to report on it. They have no journalistic abilities anymore. X is where everyone pretty much gets their news from.
Well, after his meeting with Trump in his, what do you call it, street clothes, he then had a meeting with his real boss, and he wore a suit, Mr. Rothschild.
Someone came out with the word geodis for Trump. You know what that is?
No.
I thought it was God Emperor of the United States.
What's it called? The Lord Emperor God of the United States? Yeah, now there's a title.
No, it's a God Emperor of the United States.
Oh, just a God Emperor, not a Lord. Okay. Yeah. So there's still another title out there to get. Emperor God of the United States. Who comes up with these things?
Mad lads.
Might as well just call yourself the Emperor of the Universe.
Would it be too forward to claim it all? It's like, no, we only save that for tensor calculus and Einstein. Oh, okay.
It's only if you can bend space and time.
They have a better chance of bending unicorn farts than space and time.
Right?
Real farts, for that matter.
As opposed to like a fictitious fart, where like if you're moving, there's no actual fart, but there's like, but you still smell it. There's an effect, but the fart was fictitious. Oh, dude, that's so funny. That's a great way to do that now. Thank you for that. That is so awesome. What? It's a fictitious fart, but you can still smell it though, right? Okay.
It's called the flatulence. It's called the flatulence force.
That's great.
Yeah, so
pseudo fart.
You even get the pleasure of farting it. Man.
It's like whether or not you're moving, you can still smell the fart though, right?
Crazy times, man.
I fart, therefore I am.
Dude.
Depends on what reference frame your olfactory system is in.
It's so profound given the context, Stone.
Emmanuel fart.
No globies down there want to come up here. That's a shame.
Yeah, none of them want to have their ass handed to them.
Dude, you know what would be crazy though? When we bounce, they'll all come up and be like, "Where do I get a celestial theodolite? Do I go to Walmart or Amazon?" Like, yeah, bro. You have
Dude,
a phone? Do you have a phone and eyeballs?
I could not believe that dude on TikTok, dude. I thought you were gonna reach through the internet and slap him.
Dude, I was gonna kick him, but Cat kicked him before I could do it, and I was like, and when I noticed he was gone, I was like, oh, the issue has resolved itself. Because like at that point, if you can't understand what we're saying and like relay it back, then like you might as well not be there, dog. I can get a sock puppet out and pretend to be you and have just as good of a conversation.
Dude, I mean, I'm still trying to understand all this myself, but I heard you say concept like 57 times. So I was thinking, I don't think this is a real theodolite.
It's a process. It's a thing you do. It's a name for a methodology. Can you go to Walmart and buy it? I mean, not yet, but we will patent pending one.
And then it's like, all you need is a damn stopwatch. I was dying.
Yeah, good times. TikTok's a hoot. TikTok's a hoot.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's not what it's not a hoot per se, but
it's something.
It's real something. Dilemma with that Baron, man. Either he is so stupid that he doesn't understand what a celestial theodolite is, or he's just so bad faith that he's gonna resort to that as a tactic. Either way, it does not look good for young Baron.
It seemed more like just being a jackass, because it seemed pretty obvious that he was being that.
Dude, he asked me to clarify the height elevation difference between the altitude above sea level, the angle, or theta, and then he was like, "Where can I buy one?" So, bro, I thought you were doing the math. You were gonna take
you got the difference. No, I got the difference.
Oh, and then
dude, that was one of my favorite parts, Gally. It's like, so you took the difference from the elevation and the peak? No, I took the difference. Oh, okay.
Oh, good. Well, then
word. Okay, great. Then we're all on board. Then I guess he's like, no, do it manually. I agree to the process. You're good.
Well, they can't refute the measurements directly, so then they have to attack the methodology or the equipment or whatever,
or your mother, or tactics,
right?
Exactly, or whatever we can squeeze in there to take attention off this.
What's everyone's favorite type of theodolite? Mine is the celestial one.
That seems to be everybody's favorite nowadays. I'm starting to lean towards it.
You remember how they used to mention theodolite, and then they used to like intimidate us with it and try to use it and try to be scary, but no one knew anything about it. They would just be like,
dude,
hey, flat earther, theodolite. We'd be like, no, whatever, because it's like a different.
They had us all convinced there was a little tiny demon in between the optical piece. That was grabbing the light and bending it below the optical drop or the reticle.
Like, you can't find Earth curve, but if you get a theodolite, you can manufacture that shit right through the bottom of that lens if you look hard enough. Like,
oh, dude, how crazy is it that there is a little demon in there that causes the curvature to the like as part of the air in the scale?
Right, it's got curvature, pre-correction, refraction correction, which is just following the bend of the Earth, literally bending it at a curvature rate comported with 7/6R, which is, of course, a proponent of the ratio of the radius. So, like, hey.
So I have a question about the scale thing that he was arguing. Stone, you might know the answer to this, because the way that he was arguing it is like it was like a different type of air. So was he saying that the actual scale that like the zero would like that the degrees are printed on is like slightly off? Is that what that would be? And then like so you would have compounding errors over greater distances based off of like that your starting scale being off? Is that what he was saying?
Not quite sure what you're asking me there. Can you clue me in again?
What Dr. Mike was saying for theodolite's error?
Yeah, when he was saying that the new modern theodolites, give a have like a air built into them essentially that corresponds exactly to 8 inches per mile squared. So as you get out past 3 kilometers, you start getting this linear compounding air or whatever, and it comes out to the exact difference to create Earth curvature. Did you catch that part of it? You know what I'm talking about? I think your mic cut out, or did I cut out? Hello? It's me. I'm gonna refresh. I can't hear you, Stone.
Time you gratify yourself, it's -1 saving. You know that, right? If you save the world like 2 times, but you brag about it once, you've only saved it once. That's how the math's gonna work.
Wow, Alan, this commercial break to do
Hello,
a
I'm
public
back.
health.
Sorry, were you able? Did you hear that, Stone?
Unrelated.
Before I DC'd?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Alan. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, did you understand like what type of air, like where the air was coming from that he was talking about?
Yeah, I was actually typing away in the text chat when Dr. Mark like keyed into that and tried to produce some kind of conclusion out of it, saying that it's the same as the drop. And it's actually not. I think you're referring to the figure Hef was quoting, something to the effect of 4.6 times 10 to the negative 6 degrees per meter.
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of an error. That is most likely an ocular error in the eyepiece and other lens setup. I can see where that would be in there, but that's not the same rate of change, if you will, as 8 inches per mile squared, per squared mile. You know what I mean? In terms of the value.
Right.
The first one, the one Hef's quoting, is a linear rate of change. And the other one that everybody's familiar with is a parabolic rate of change. So they're not, it's actually apples to oranges. So I do not subscribe to any relational statements made between those two values. But as far as what it could be set up in the instrument, totally objectively believable that they may set up that very slight misalignment one lens to the next, so that while you are looking across any line of sight, that there might be an error to that effect. And you got to understand, that's really small. That's 4 millionths of a degree per meter. You know what I mean? 10 to the negative 6.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about, or maybe 400 thousandths for 100 thousandths of a degree per meter of travel, and we're only talking about 50,000 meters of travel here. So it really doesn't amount to much in terms of the physical measurement. You know what I mean? I don't think it's worth talking about most of the time.
Gotcha.
I do not subscribe.
No worries, lad.
It's like I do not worship at that altar.
You do not worship at the golden theodolite or whatever? Theodolite?
The altar of the golden theodolite, precisely.
But they do have like total stations, and also just have like built-in refraction buttons. And when you ask, like, because Jesse was talking about his all the time, like, oh, what's the path of light, right? And then when I told him, like, hey, how come you never told me that it has a refraction button? And he's like, well, I turn it off all the time. I was like, oh, well, that's solid, I guess. Like, that's a cool answer. I didn't know that you could have. I guess it would have sounded dumber if you told me that, hey, don't worry, the thing I'm using to prove curvature has a curvature function, but I turned it off. So, like, that's just I know that that's not what it does, but the fact that it's there is very, like, it's very funny.
I think that is the type of problem that is inherent in the production of a digital optical device. And that's where I give Hef credit by going fully analog, fully mechanical with the David White 8300. That it's just a crank with a vernier scale on the side.
Ooh,
and
is
you're
that what
done.
it is? It's a digital thing? No kidding.
Yeah. That's the kind of problem when you push a button and factor corrections are coming into the readings coming out on an LCD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's again right in the video that I show breaking down Jesse's supposed observations and stuff of Mount Shasta, 100 and whatever miles away. He's using a digital instrument, much less a thing with an optical path of 3 freaking inches. I mean, look at the error of margin there and just think for a second in terms of real world figure, and the illusion is instantly revealed.
Yeah, I had a manual that said automatically accounts for the curvature of the Earth and then also refraction as if they were separate things. My dog's chilling. I don't know what that means, but I'd like, if anyone knows the difference.
Globies like to think that they're separate things, but they're both kind of non-things is the real issue. And that's what Hef's data is pointing at. Ain't no Globie's going to touch that with a stick.
Dude, I was just thinking, where'd all the Globies go? I thought we were going to hit them with a new triangle argument, but I don't like the far.
Ready to be fricasseed. No, they're not coming.
I haven't even seen one in like days.
We built it and they are not going to come. You know what I'm saying?
When's the last time y'all seen a wild glober?
Man, they're scared. They must be extending this this February of not talking to glober or flat earthers or something.
I think the free range globers are becoming extinct.
They're only found in small, tight knit pods now. They kind of congregate together for safety.
Well, they've always been in small packs of commiseration, a commiseration of globies. I think that's the collective term. But now I've not seen them.
Attenborough's going to narrate a documentary about them.
Here we see native globers in their habitat of non-flatness. Yes.
They're a server of 7 people who circle jerk each other about their non-understanding of the misappropriation of the straw man argument of the day. I can see that. Too bad.
Ask them where the curve is, and they will show it to you. Oh, yes, without hesitation.
They say they want the proof, but they don't want to come and get the proof.
That's just something they chant. They don't actually want you to produce evidence. Should you produce anything, they don't want to look at it. They want to say that you don't have math, but should you present a spreadsheet with said math, they will do everything they can to not look at it while glancing over your shoulder and telling the next guy that you couldn't bring any math. That's kind of the whole game. It's like, what?
They'll do what that Rohan guy did and say, well, when you apply the globe stuff on there, you get that, so therefore it's a globe.
Dude, somebody examined our spreadsheet, which was showing both the globe and flat Earth prediction, found that the globe Earth prediction yielded and used a radius. They were like, bold, we win, gotcha. We were like, whoa. All right, cool.
Because, well, the only way a radius can work is on a ball.
Well, we're using it for your prediction to show how it's not right in favor of our prediction, which is right on the other side. And you found the radius in the globe prediction and you were like, we win. And it's like, oh, you don't know spreadsheets, you don't know math. I'm not even sure you know what a variable is. Like, this is so bad. Like, this one has globe in it, we win. Like, all right.
I got the munchies now. I think I've earned a bowl of cereal. I'll be right back.
Damn it, Stone. That sounds pretty good.
I instantly just thought of the cereal that I could have.
I sure would like to see what a concaver thinks about all this.
Nah, they don't really have original ideas, arguments that are defensible or anything different. They're just counterculture, right? Different enough to not understand any of the arguments that push me away from the main counter, but I just want to be, counter to the counter.
We got Mr. Concave Cellular down there. Seems to be all in on this concave thing. He's probably got some
It's just the inverse reflection of the celestial dome projected orthographically from the center cube, bro.
I think it's because you don't understand the way light bends.
Yeah, you don't get how night works? Jeez. Crystalline, refractive, concave, bending firmament upwards. No, I think that only arguments that like that one pendulum they dropped down a mine shaft where they couldn't quite get the reading. It was like 4 times longer than it should have been, or whatever.
The Tamarack mines.
Yep. And they're like, "Lo, behold, we don't. This one measurement, we don't know how to interpret it, but it proves that there's concave. It's the only concave evidence that anyone's ever produced."
Well, it turns out that's more of an urban legend.
Yeah.
Didn't they forget to account for wind or something like that?
Yeah. It was down a mine shaft.
Ken had an article on it, or he was reading it.
I looked into it for one day, I remember, and I was like, "This is very unimpressive as evidence or an argument."
But if you put anyway, in the ocean, something happens. The Earth turns into an inverted ball.
Dude, we lost Witsit, we lost Dustin, we lost all the Globers. Did you guys have Globers earlier and we scared them all away? I saw XO was up in here. I saw that.
We had some earlier, I guess, but they were, probably a little less intimidated because we were just going over Bible verses.
We got to make them think it's safe, and just like, they come in and they hear goo goo gaga noises, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a bunch of babies up here. Let me tell them about this ball curve," and then they come up and get celestial theodolited.
And then, bam, they're like, "Oh, I gotta go. You guys are losers."
I'm still thinking about that David Attenborough documentary about Globers. It's just been going over in my head the whole time listening to you guys talk. And I've been sitting here and, if you cannot protect the globe and the Globers, homosexuality and climate change will cease to exist.
If this seems extreme to you, just remember, it's the same group of people that think you can fix climate change by paying the government more money.
We must do everything that we can.
And chopping your balls off.
Yeah, if you pay the people in charge of giving you restrictions, that always goes well.
Yeah, then you'll get less restrictions. That's usually how that goes. And if you vote harder, you can get yourself out of the democracy slave or whatever.
Did Witsit say when he was going to debate Jaron?
Tomorrow.
Is it
tomorrow? I don't think he decided he was going to do it until we all encouraged him heartily.
Till we were all like, if you don't do it, we will.
An idea. He's like, "What do you guys think?" And you were like, "Fucking kill him." Kill him. Like, "Oh, all right. So like, no, just cut his throat. Dude deserves it. Matter of fact, hang him, then cut his throat.
It's really tomorrow? That's awesome.
No, who knows?
No. You just straight up got goosed. You got bamboozled, bro.
Damn it.
Rick rolled.
Someone tag him, get him back in here. Let's find out. Let's get some deets.
Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah. That's some shit.
Comes in on the wind, drops a couple nuggets. You'll see him in a couple weeks or whatever.
Right.
Disappears into the ether.
Disappears like a fart.
Like a Sasquatch sighting sometimes.
Like a reference frame or time dilation, dude. Right away.
He can track.
Was it ever there at all?
He Lorenz.
Just think about that, dude. 6 months ago, would any of you have believed me if I said, "Hey, in 6 months, Jaron's going to be teaming up with Will Duffy and McToon because in FTFE"? You guys would be like, "Get out of here."
Man, I can't believe he was over there defending the Lorentz contraction.
What? No way. Jaron's a Lorentz. No way. What? No way. No. Guys.
Dude,
Guys,
he's like kind of ceding authority to McToon on most things because he's like, I don't know about the spin, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. All I know is it's a globe, and that's all that matters. Everything else I'll figure out, or I won't, whatever. Blah, blah.
Yikes!
Mr. Xavier played a clip of it.
No, you misunderstand. That was me showing that he does understand how the predicted orbital velocity is incorrect, and how the Lorentz contraction is unfalsifiable because the measuring instrument will be contracted as well. That was clear, was showing that he does understand the argument, that it's not just a matter of ignorance. So
yeah, we heard a similar clip of him denying it or using it as an argument or something. I thought that was what we were saying, because that would be crazy.
Well, that's what I thought that clip was. I was like, is he defending it?
No, he was properly articulating why it was retarded.
Yeah,
that was probably from the way back.
Yeah, nobody would, dude. I don't think you could pay someone enough money to defend Lorentz contraction without indoctrinating them first and making them feel like they're the most specialist boy in the world.
I mean,
especially if you're gonna, if you have like clips out there of you saying how retarded it is, because obviously the first thing that'll happen is someone will put those two together, and it will be you saying how retarded it is before encouraging everyone how awesome it is or whatever. Like,
Alan's
well, if the person explaining it doesn't use word salad, literal word salad, then people realize it's retarded. Otherwise, they use the word salad, the mind goes gravy, and they're just like, yeah, sure.
No, it's retarded no matter how. That's why it's funny. It's like, hey, if you measure something, but it contracts the exact.
Like, yeah. Well, we actually couldn't measure. Oh wait, I lost audio. I'll be back.
Better, it's not going to flip it. Like, no matter how much powdered sugar you dump on that turd,
They
I can't imagine anyone's going to be defending it as the prize pig or whatever.
That's why Alan's joke is hilarious, because you literally got to go clockwork orange on that guy and keep your eyes open and to indoctrinate yourself, because he understands.
And we still can't get good audio, good connection.
You have a purple pill. You were able to hear each other. There's not a tinny sound. You got to praise, man. This is a good space.
Telling you, man. But I don't know if we could get to the moon, man. I think we would have connection issues.
Dude, we just went back to the moon like a couple days ago. What are you talking about?
Did we? Did we?
We CGI'd that bitch.
Yeah,
somebody did.
Yeah, the video was pretty wild. It was like
someone set foot on.
It was like the same looking LEM as the 70s when they went. But it just got like a little bit of an upgrade. It was like a Pimp My Ride episode or something.
Oh, dude, they got the West Coast Customs LEM special, bro. Your boy
yeah,
Xavier,
they got a gold. They got a gold plated.
Who was that guy? Not Mr. Xavier. It was some other. It was
Exhibit, right?
Yeah, dude. The Exhibit shows up to NASA. He's like, "Yo, dog, I heard you like going to the moon and doing astronomical shit. We're gonna put a fish tank in your rocket, bro." What?
We're gonna put a 500 camel shocks
fish tank.
This is a
you need some camel shocks, bro.
CD player in your whip, dog. In your celestial whip. Dude, that's crazy. Can we refer to rockets as celestial whips now?
Yep, sure can.
Tag Elon. Tweet at Elon.
Celestial whips.
We put the theodolite in the trunk.
Talking about the Saturn V, that's a pretty nice celestial whip. Dude, and there is an quote. I'm doing air quotes. You guys can't see me, but there is a celestial whip. The was that electric car they said they put in orbit or whatever? Somebody.
Tesla Model 3.
The actual celestial whip, dude.
It's up there, man. With those
normal tires.
Those tires.
I don't know about that.
They're about to find out.
All right, hear me out. Hear me out, Brian. Hear me out.
What do you got?
Fast and the Furious in space.
Oh my!
Right? And
dude, didn't they already do that? Didn't they already do that?
If we get
Literally?
close enough to a black hole, we can bring Paul Walker back, boys. Are you guys in?
Well,
yeah. Now you mention it, I remember seeing Ludacris up in space, Sam.
was do they?
Dude, for real, he broke the sound barrier or something and drove right off the globe. Forgot to nose down.
That's such a Luda thing to do. Classic.
Now I'm not sure that we could get Tesla near a black hole without it breaking up. I think we got issues here. I think it has to be light and going around it. I think everything matter though gets torn apart.
Well, I'm sure Don Petty could probably come up with some pretty good engineering to figure that out.
Yeah, I think it would definitely have to be a hard top. Roll up the windows, pressurize that sucker.
Just strap some Mylar on top, you're good.
Dude, I really can't believe that people think that's real.
You know what I can't believe, Brian, is you got deleted, and it took your buddy Ken 30 minutes to resubscribe to you. Now, if you was a really good friend, right, but what was he doing for 30 minutes before you got deleted, before he was already following? Like, what was he really doing that was more important in that 30 minutes than following you?
You got some explaining to do, Ken. You might be sleeping. You still with us, Ken?
I don't know if he's here. He's probably looking for his lighter.
Man, I can't believe I got axed again. I was being such a good boy.
I don't believe that for 1 second. You don't even try. Was this your trying to give a shit phase? Like that's very confusing for me. What would it look for like if you don't give a shit? Hold on, can you try the other one so I have contrast?
Right. I was bummed. I was like, damn it.
I thought your attitude was pretty much giving two birds to everyone at all times. Like, come at me, bro. I thought that's where your position was.
Yeah, pretty much is.
Well, you know, I mean, I get it. I'm pretty sure what drives bans is people just like report you like 7 times. Dude, when I first got to Discord, there was like one person who I pissed off immediately, and then I got like 3 servers deleted, and I was like, wonder if there's a correlation between the amount of butthurt on this Glober and the amount of reports that my server gets.
Right.
It's like, yes, exactly 1-for-1 correlation. Actually, it's more like 10-to-1 because these are the same people that'll make like 11 Twitter accounts and then command like 11 times the presence and 11 like report you 11 times, right? They'll go through all their accounts and take the time to report you and by themselves get you deleted.
Is that fun? I mean, there's people out there that do that.
Most of the Globers that hate us have the same energy that would do that, I think.
I just think,
you know, energy. Like if you're hate watching someone, then you can do this, right? That's my philosophy.
It's insanity.
You ever hate somebody so much that you watch all of their content?
Everything you do,
right?
Meticulously. Yeah, some of them are helpful though. Shout out to Franco, for example, who's left some awesome feedback from back and forth.
No, shout out to you for being constructive and making a nugget out of that shit turd. That's how that one should go. Not shout out to that douchebag.
I mean, he's obvious.
He's a good lad. Little confused about where we live and the nature of things based on his training, but you know, whatever happens to the best
he's
of us.
obvious. But he's a piece of shit because he said no.
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit as a person. Generally, interactions, courteous, like with conversations, with tone, with intonage, with condescension, with any sort of response. Hate watching. Remember that
we
one
call
time
that occupational hazard.
Yeah.
Remember that one time you mispronounced a variable and he commented about it for like 6 years?
But I'll never mispronounce that variable again.
Sure you will. I did it 3 times since. I mean, yeah, no, I think that shout out goes to you for being constructive and turning that into something good. That's probably the proper praise. I don't think we should praise assholes for being dickheads or whatever. That'll just encourage more people to hate watch us, bro.
And he's the one that said that he gave the perfect example of peer review. He said we wouldn't, and none of us would pass his class, but he said he would just take anything that we had and just throw in the trash. I'm like, dude.
Oh, dude, do you remember when he said he would throw me out of his class?
It's insanity.
We know this guy, Barris?
No. See what's up.
Should we hit him with a question?
Well, let's see if he can connect. There he is.
What's your name?
Hey, Barris, what shape do you think the Earth is, Barris? It's like kryptonite, that question.
You might have connection issues.
Barras, can you find the mute button?
Can you?
Contact.
Okay. There he is, sort of.
Are you drunk?
Couldn't quite make that out, Barris. You with us?
I'm sure I'm eating so
Swallow, then speak. You know, when you were 4, that's what your mom used to say, I hope.
Yeah, we can't hear you, man. There's something wrong with your mic. It's muted.
No, he's got food in his mouth.
And you got food in your mouth, allegedly.
The issue seems to be between the
You guys know it's food.
These spaces can get confusing. But you're going to want to hit that mute button. Take yourself off mute.
You there with us, Barris?
Yeah, I'm there. Hi, everyone.
What shape do you think the Earth is?
Come again?
We're having issues here. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Spherical.
Come on, make a sentence.
Fix your mic, man. No one can hear you.
My caring level for what Barris has to say is dropping substantially, guys, right off the
it
cliff.
actually plummeted to a hard 0. Like if we were to graph it out, there would be a logarithmic function that's just going straight to 0, whatever that would look like. The
Hockey
curve on that's
stick.
yeah, right. Straight L.
It was pretty low to beginning, but it plummeted, so I got nothing left. What else? What else you guys do?
So much for that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I see Tay out there in the screen.
I'm much more interested in what
true.
she has to say. Yeah.
Also, Plain Reality's down there. We could throw him a mic. He's a guy. Has cool stuff to talk about. If you're not, dude, imagine being on Twitter and not following Plain Reality. I had to double check and make sure I was following him.
I think I just followed him. Yes.
Well, you don't count. You're brand new, but 30 minutes old because of Ken and his lackadaisical nature.
I see Taylor's down there.
Well, if you wanted to scrape the barrel concave cells back.
Well, I actually
That's
shot
a barrel we're not trying to get to the bottom of, brother.
Guys, what are your motivation, you masochist?
Actually, it was Coffee. Coffee left. Shot him an invite, and he's like, no.
Yeah, no doubt.
Are we a bunch of assholes, or is this just an intimidating topic for them?
You're kind of
It's
a dick.
If your one topic is the sun in a spot where you didn't think it was going to be, it's like your argument that you're like hinging it on. And then we have all these other supplemental proofs to show that irrespective of the position of that object above the horizon, it doesn't mean that ball curve shape is where we live. And so like to kind of like to coast on the laurels of, the one observation, you can't really do that in the face of actual empirical measurement. When we start whipping out triangles celestially or windowly, it's pretty much G.
Yep.
Brian, did you just say I was more of a dick than you?
No.
Oh.
I said you're kind of a dick.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think anyone, Do you get the hate that I get? I don't think you do.
I mean, I think we both get a fair amount of hate.
You get some.
Things.
You get some. Mine's like.
I was trying to compare. We're gonna hate compare, whatever. So, how much hate do you get? Okay, well, on a scale of 1 to death threats on a daily, like how many? 1 to 2, 3 to 4.
Man, I'm on my 5th account, so.
Right, they're literally just trying to hurt you any which way. Yeah. Yep.
It's nuts, man.
I enjoy the gaslighting the most, I think.
Dude, I enjoy the cognitive dissonance. Like when John, our PhD buddy, literally said our position and then didn't realize what he said. Like we all had a good laugh on the chuckle. We were like, whoa, man, like is that what cognitive dissonance looks like up close? Whoa. What up, Plane?
Hey guys, how is everyone?
Hola, hey man.
Doing well.
Hola.
Welcome.
Can you all hear me all right? Obviously, I'm gathering.
Loud and clear.
Nice. Hey, I've got well, we call them hills because they're really only about 700 meters tall. They're probably about 15K away from me. You reckon I'd be able to do that observation with that?
I reckon.
Yeah, I'm gonna pretend that you use freedom units and that was an actual measurable distance to me. Okay.
Sorry, it is. It's about say 700-800, so maybe about 2.5 to 3,000 feet.
Oh.
Okay, which direction from you are we talking about?
We are talking east.
Yeah, it's got to be on the west because the sun's going to, the stars are going to come down towards the horizon and then be occluded by that object, right?
So it can't be coming up instead of going down.
Pretty much. I mean, you could do it on the east, yeah. Well, wait, you could plan when do you see the star. That can be done too, I suppose.
Yeah, that was an additional, like the reverse that was proposed last night. That was kind of dope. So, like, yeah, either way you would want to. I think it would be easier probably.
Yeah, because you can see the star, you can track when you know where to expect it to disappear. Expecting it to appear somewhere is a little tougher to guess.
But if it tells me what time it should appear, then I guess if I'm there around that time, looking, it should be.
It's kind of like catching the bus.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll have a better chat with one of you guys about it because I've been kind of following it, but not really. So maybe I'll have a better chat with one of you guys and fill me in on exactly what I should do, and maybe I'll give it a go.
It took me like 3 renditions to understand it, right? I had to have Dr. Mike explain it to me, especially even after I thought I got it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go into Stellarium, and then I'm going to look for wait, what am I doing? Like, I don't get it. I need to be like, I don't know. And then, like, I raised all the objections that the Globers are stuck on right now, like right away at first, because I didn't understand it, right? So yeah, we don't fault you for not picking it up. It's a complex new idea, really. It's a new argument, right? So it's a new conceptual argument.
Yeah, well, I hear there's a Tesla in space there somewhere. Maybe that's going to set down to the east, and I could track that.
Well, I thought they were going to use that to film Fast and Furious in space. Or was that us?
Dog? You trying to track the celestial whip?
Who's going to film Fast and Furious in space? Was that us or them? Was that a Cabal movie, or were we going to? Okay, all right. Dude, Plain Reality went on Jaren's show and did a presentation, and then Jaren went back to the Globe. What do you guys think about Plain Reality?
I feel like Plain Reality caused it. If he did a better press, he could have saved Jaren.
Right? Like if I was doing a correlative analysis.
He had one job.
That's messed up, Plain.
Sorry guys, because I'm on my phone and I tilted my phone and it just kicked me off.
That's all right. We already decided to turn Jaren. Yeah, we're on to you.
That sucks.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, Alan? I missed your entire piece.
We were just slapping you.
You were the last person to do a presentation on Jaren's channel, and now he turned into a Glober, so we're low-key blaming you for not doing a good enough job.
We're at the very least questioning your credibility now, right? We have to look back at every interaction with care and caution now.
Yeah, no, sounds fair, man. Me and Jeremy were like in cahoots. Yeah, I tried messaging him, and he just gave me the there's these problems, and you guys can't, flat Earth can't deal with it. So, and I just didn't bother answering. I was like, okay, man, yep, you're gone.
You just can't answer it. It simply won't work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, it's like I think I commented on one of the videos. It's like, well, I mean, he has now said the Earth is spinning, and he did say that if I'm compromised, I'm compromised if I start saying stuff like this. Now, that doesn't mean that he is compromised, but,
We should make a pact right here, guys. Friends, don't let friends Lorenz contract back to, gaslighting your own soul or whatever. Like, if we ever do that, you know that everyone's fucked.
Yeah, I think he was blinded by the starlight going through the telescope.
Like
what was that? Aries failure. He was looking down the telescope and got blinded by the globe.
The particle of being reflected at the exact rate. It was a little pocket of ether in there. I think it caught his eye. That's probably what happened.
But yeah, I'm actually sort of slowly, because everything I do is slow pretty much, because that's how we are, on the opposite side of the Earth here. We're a little slow sometimes. But yeah, getting another presentation organised. So hopefully I don't turn anyone into Globers from it, because I'm pretty much got it down pat, the argument of what I've put forward for why boats are disappearing over the horizon, or beyond the horizon, we should say.
Oh, but
nice.
But Paul, have you heard the argument? It doesn't happen to big boats. Bro, somebody said that to me one time, and I was so befuddled by the argument that I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough, man. I guess. Like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I'm what I've got, provided I present it properly, it's so damning that the only thing they're going to be able to say is coincidence. That's it. There's nothing else to it. The only thing they'll have is like, oh, it's just coincidence. Yeah.
Yodi. I have a bad habit of saying.
Well, dude, these are the people that will Lorenz contract themselves out of inconvenient measurements, break fundamental laws of physics, mathematically invert the reality around which the Earth isn't moving. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to be like, you know what? That's still Earth curve.
That's such an important thing to remember. Like, at the highest levels, like, we can't even get them to be like, hey, you guys know they're making measurements of motion, but not as fast as you think they are. As they're saying that there's actually no measurement. Anyone want to deal with this? And they're like, no, absolutely not. Not at all. I would like you to go away.
You know what's crazy, dude, is flat Earth, like up until a while ago, would just deny no motion whatsoever, right? Because Earth is flat and stationary was their premise. So they'd be like, oh, we can measure this motion called, axial rotation of the spinning Earth. And here's how we do it with interferometry. And everyone was like, no, flat stationary, not moving, no. Instead of being like, oh, did you measure motion? Well, what do we think that motion is? What does it correlate with? What are the other measurements? Where does it change at? What are the you know what that motion is? Not exclusive to a sphere. Impossible for a uniform rotating sphere. That's what we should argue with that, right? So I was like, how unfortunate was it that if you joined like 6 years ago, you'd have been condemned for trying to argue that there was motion of any sort. I mean,
Yes, I'm also working on something to do with the conservation of momentum and debunking the whole upward rising Earth thing. Even though technically, if we would all adopt the upward rising Earth, that 100% debunks the globe if that was true, clearly. But I personally don't think that it's true. And I've just going to do a few basic, how they do their basic little experiments and they show, look at balloons going back, all this kind of thing. Well, I'm going to do an experiment about as basic as that to show that conservation of momentum completely destroys it.
Nice, lad.
But I'll get there eventually. I've got to do the other one first. On another note, I just bought 3 brand new P1100s. Did you know that was out now?
Top the 3.
Why'd you buy 3?
Jeez.
Well, because I'm a little bit obsessed with what I'm doing.
That's fair. That's a fair answer.
It's just like a low key flex. Like, I got money.
No, I've been slowly accumulating multiple P1000s. So
more than 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my God! All right, you got to tell me the number. That was such a ridiculous response. How much more than 3 do you have?
I have 9.
Holy God! Oh my God!
Dude,
Yeah,
that's a respectable amount. We have a guy on the globe side that collects theodolites for some reason.
Yeah.
You're the P1000.
I think he's up around 11, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I've got so I've got 9 P1000s, I guess now, 3 P1100s, and also 3 P900s.
So he's up to 15.
So I trump him.
Quite.
But yeah, my whole deal is what I do is I just point each camera in a different section of the land, and I just let them film for 3 hours, so we can actually see what's going on over a period of time. We can see what the horizon's doing, rather than just going there with one camera and pointing it in each different direction for 10 minutes and then walking away going, boom, globe, shut up, flat earther. Because that's pretty much what everyone does. They just go in there, they film one boat disappearing, and they go, well, there you go. My reification fallacy of a boat disappearing over the horizon has just been fulfilled.
So wait, you bring 3 cameras, and you like every time you go, you bring more than you just get every direction.
Pretty much, yeah. I had I had 13 cameras going yesterday.
God damn! All right, well that's cool. At least you're using them all. At least they're not sticking on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, it just depends. Obviously, if it's a windy day, then I just take one camera out, because no matter what, I'm trying to just get down every day just to get at least different shots of how it looks daily. But if it's a really nice day, then I head out early, like no wind. I head out early and then just go there and just try and get the complete change over a 5 or 6 hour period.
Nice, dude. I'm excited for the new presentation. Whenever you're ready, we can still do it on Aether cost.
Yeah, well,
we still have that.
Yeah, I mean, if how are you want me to just have like a little private one for you guys, give you a quick 10-minute rundown.
Hey,
of what I'll be
retarded,
doing.
how are you? Retarded camel. Hey, man, we're having a conversation here, Jordan. I don't know if you heard the other speakers talking. What shape do you think the Earth is, Jordan? I think you're.
Hey, Jordan, what's going on, brother?
So you were talking to your buddy Retarded. Clearly, you're here just to troll everybody, and you're a little triggered. So if you can't have a productive conversation,
I was just saying hi to Retarded Camel.
I understand that. We heard you the first time you interrupted the conversation.
Hey, Jordan, what's going on, brother? This is Retired Camel.
Yeah, neither one of these people should have a mic, probably, if you had a gut instinct.
Bro, you're a
had to let
bitch, you
this guy
pussy.
guess.
Let me have the mic, you faggot. Bro, Brian, you're a bitch. You come on Twitter just to host spaces like a fucking loser, you degenerate.
Sucks being right all the time, I guess.
So much for that guy. El Presidente has entered the chat.
What are you
Check
gonna do?
that out.
Sometimes the crazies get in.
Yeah, you guys got a lockdown.
That's a point for Brian over hatred on Shane there.
Right, dude. 1-0. Let's keep track from now on. We'll see. Just come in and emotionally attack you because of my insecurities, right? That's definitely a point for you. Let's see if we can slide something the other way.
He was making some good points, though. Pretty coherent, right?
Yeah, it's almost like you dated him like a year ago and he hasn't quite got over it yet, and he was just a little bit upset. Like, just want to let you know that I'm doing fine. I don't need you. Everything is great.
It's funny how they come in pairs too, because I was gonna get to his buddy Retarded Camel, and I don't know. I guess he left when his other buddy left.
Oh, they both left.
Well, that's a good ploy. To go into someone else's space with your friend, specifically only address your friend, and then start just like troll jerking each other off or whatever.
Where did JT go?
Dude, conspiracy theorists holding it down. He addressed it directly, sniffed it out, muted them both, and then ended it. Props, dude. Dude knows how to run a space.
And the funny thing is I don't even know who either one of those people are.
No, but you could tell within the first word, like troll, the trolldar. Like, oh, I got it.
Oh, yeah. As soon as you ask them what shape the Earth is, and like they don't say right away, kind of, you kind of know.
Yeah, or if his name is retarded, you might know, right?
Yeah, when they start their sentences with something like "Hey, faggot," dead giveaway there.
Also a good red flag. Yeah, that's another barometer we can use. How many sentences do you start with "Hey, faggot"? Is it more than one? Is it two?
I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. A lot of my sentences start with "Hey, fucker," "Hey, faggot." Yeah.
No. I think your responses start with that, not your actual statement. So you're fine.
To waste your time to go into spaces and do that. What a life.
Imagine to get your jollies by going in other people's meetings, listening to shit you don't care about, that you don't, to get your 4 seconds of fame to make, 10 people inconvenience for 6 seconds on the internet. Like, whoa.
No,
nailed it. No regrets. I'm going to do it again tomorrow.
And they're just ha together right now. Like, that was so funny, dude. We got him.
Dope. Oh. What are you going to do?
Did you bring Lisbeth up?
Who are we looking for?
Lisbeth.
Lisbeth,
Where's she at? Oh, there she is. Shot her an invite.
Let's see if we can get her to figure it out. Stuff seems to work on her phone more than anything, so it might be in luck.
Yeah, I'll shoot concave cellular Earth to Mike. See if he'll take it. Maybe he can make sense of these readings and let us know what we're actually living on.
We're going in 2 different directions, sir. To bring up at least or concave cellular. There's a divergence
that is
of goals.
quite the contrast. Yeah.
I
was going to say, it was nice not hearing Peter all day. He's got a new PFP down there.
It wasn't. Wasn't it nice?
Yeah, I was concerned that we would come in here and it would be immediately Peter all day, every day. That was like in the back of my mind. I was a little bit worried that might happen.
No, Peter lasted about 10 minutes. Got extremely rude, and he got bounced.
Peter Magovsky? Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah.
I'm the odd man out. I kind of like Peter.
Yeah.
He's just so depressing.
I've never met a Peter that I like, to be honest. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's never been one cool Peter in my life yet. So maybe someone will break them.
He's cool.
Okay.
He makes some funny jokes. He's kind of got some dry humor. I mean, I don't know. I guess you just got to hear him out.
Well, if it's the same Peter, one time he showed up to a debate to argue my position against me, and then thought that was like a solid position.
Was that the one where you had with Morwand and him?
Yeah, they tried to outsmart us by arguing our position.
Little reverse psychology. I
guess that was the goal. I couldn't imagine the context in which they were like, "This is a good idea."
That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah,
you. Wait, me? What?
Yeah. Although it might be the other Peter. I get Peters confused because, like I said, they all suck or whatever.
No, this is the guy, if you recall, Shane, that I asked him, what is the definition of space-time 3 times in a row, and he just struck out miserably.
Well, it's tricky to believe in things that you don't understand, especially when asked to articulate them on the spot. So you got to have a heart.
Totally. Much less define them. I mean, really, this is first base kind of question.
I have a faith-based science religion. I don't have to know. I just have to believe, dude. In fact, I just have to refer to the book, and then I can believe harder.
Do the mantra.
Say the thing.
That's pretty much his argument. Is I haven't read it, but a bunch of nerds nerding out, if you want to pay attention, have. And it's in
like, what are you going to refute science? Yeah. Love it.
Still nobody taking the mic. What up, people? It's pretty easy. Just push the button.
Yo, lads and ladettes. Speaking of no one taking the mic, etc., I'm about to head off for the night. Guys, hold it down.
Shout out to
Catch you later, man. Yeah, I'm getting pretty close too. About 1:30 here.
Throughout the week when they feel it's super safe, Brian. When they feel like they can come in on a nice Wednesday afternoon and tell you about, well, if I just look through my device horizontally, I mean, the ball curve is right there. How could you possibly explain this measurement? We'll come back and see what's up. See if they can answer a measurement regarding a window or a mountain peak and a stopwatch.
They won't have it, but they will run. They will run and say they won.
Speak of the devil.
Nice. All right, lads. Catch you on the fleas.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, Brett. Now we can turn this into a full Oda block stream. All right. See, what do we got coming up for the rest of the weekend? I think, are we doing game night tomorrow? Is that a thing? Or is that going to be next, trivia thing? Next week? Okay. So Sunday will be Globebusters. Check us out, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be doing a presentation on inertial forces and where to find them, following up on a previous Prezi where we talked about reference frames, how they're defined, classic physics and current mainstream paradigm physics, relativity theory. And then Tuesday will be a surprise, probably a Battle of the Beams update. Those of you who aren't familiar, there was a refutation put forward. We're going to cover points that were made there. Tune into that same time. Of course, we'll be continuing out the week through TikTok raids and or hosting our own space. Back at it.